And no problem, stops the way to charge it all. The way this morning, you're not going to charge it. I'm like, what do you need? So I got, I did the show, like, it was, like, repairs all. No, probably. You can't. I don't think you have something just mad. So I got, you know, inch down for 5%. So we were discussing was the revised function. So I would see.
Oh, did I? You don't think on that?
This one is this is RBA housing. But I did not do that. Short and sweet. My mom.
No.
That's awesome. Yes, that's the gun to you. Sean, are we gonna work out of these two books? Or these books?
I'm debating that was easier for me to work out. They want to be good, they can probably work out the small, because that's the changes for then the finance board, we work out the big one.
Well, the big one has already all marked up.
Yeah, one of the.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
You have an extra copy? I got mine at home.
So we go. No.
I just look at that, you know. Problem that was breakdown, not that you gotta go. It. Capital doesn't break it down, we can use a small one, but I definitely don't want to give them. This. You have to be.
So do I. It's okay. He got some.
I don't need to have, one. Like, when you're 30 years old. Is this Bill, see if he's already get?
Yeah.
You see it?
Well, let's, yes.
I didn't see it.
Miracles do happen on days.
Oh, so, how to do it?
I'd like to call to order the Westerly Town Council meeting for April 9th, 2026. This is a budget review hearing. This is the result of through the charter, the manager had submitted a budget that had been then scrutinized by the finance board. And the council had received the finance board recommendations on Monday, April 6th. And the council now will go as if there was no review at all. I know many of us had attended the finance board deliberation and meetings, Council Vandover, Council Healy. But that was just for informational purposes for us town councilors. Now we have to go through line by line with the manager and the budget and come to our own conclusion. We do have the finance board recommendations in there, how they moved items around in the $105 million budget. So we have some work to do. Mr. Manager, you is part of the deliberation between the councilors. It's normally on an informal basis. That's not 100% Robert's rules, but I think a dialogue back and forth is appropriate, and just to have some consideration, not to, if you have 5 minutes time, if you can try to not make a point over and over again, it's helpful, but that's how the budget's been reviewed in my history of the town council, and I hope this goes the same way. Any questions that we have during the budget deliberation, they can be asked to the manager. If answers aren't readily available, we've got subsequent meetings. Sean's got a lot of resources he can bring in to make this work. So if that's it, let's go. Mr. Manager, you want to walk us through where?
Yeah, I'll start out this kind of, so I gave, just to kind of start out, so we'll go through by the big book, if that makes sense to everyone. And so I passed out a sheet to everyone that's basically a memo from the finance director to me. It's dated today. It's in everyone's pile. If you just want to pull it, I just want to go through that quick so we have a general idea of where we stand financially. At least that can be a thought process going into this. And if you prefer, we'll go through the revenue, the general government side first. I have talked to the superintendent, Mark. He is available to come to the Monday night meeting, if that's okay with everyone. Okay, I told him Monday. I was driving. I said, I think we have a Monday night. Oh, we have a next Thursday. Okay, I'll confirm with him, but he did agree to come to one.
Good.
So
Dylan wanted to have that Monday for tax purposes, so
for this Monday coming up.
this
right?
one
Yeah,
coming up.
I got you. Okay, so the memo that I provided is just a breakdown. You can use this for a reference as we go through it. So just to get everyone, just to try to explain it, the current mill rate you pay, everyone pays now, the set mill rate is $7.11. Because, just to explain, the proposed budget of the finance board brings the mill rate down to 703 based on their proposal. So it's actually a tax savings for the taxpayers to go from 711 to 703. However, there is an increase in the budget. The reason the increase in the budget is absorbed because our grand list went up to over $11 billion from 10.7 or 10.8 billion. So that's where the fluctuation is. So if you were the current tax rate at 711, and based on if you kept it at 711 now, it shows you a $500,000 house is 3555. So that's your base, what people are paying now. So I came up with some scenarios. So at the 703 rate per thousand, your tax on a $500,000 home would be 3515. It's proposed decrease of 1.14%, right? And it saves about $40 a year, for the taxpayer to go to the 703 proposed by the finance board. The proposal that was submitted to the finance board was a rate of 727 per thousand, would have brought the home to 3665, an $80 increase. The proposed increase was 2.5% to go to the 727 overall. Keep in mind that includes school and town. The municipal budget that was presented to finance board was a 1% increase, and the school was like a 261, which means it averaged out to 2.25. So I have,
Emphasize that this includes the sewer increase that the council.
this includes the sewer increase as we've already done a resolution for the first year. Right?
That's
couple.
not another number that's gonna.
That's not another number, that's included. You keep in mind, this is included in the new tax that we put in, right? The new tax, and then 50% of the debt service. When you get the sewer enterprise budget, the other 50% is in the sewer budget, right? Not a new tax. The new tax is on this side. So then I have a scenario of a 1% increase, just so you can roundabout figures. 1% increase over our current 711 is a $500,000 home goes to 3590. It's about a $35 increase. So a $500,000 home, if you decided to make the budget an increase of 1%, then it increases about $35 per $500,000 home. That's generally. So if you do the math, then that's about $7 per 100,000. Because from the 703 to the 711, there's about an $800,000 gap, which I know was mentioned last week when the finance board mentioned it. So you could technically fund the budget in increased 800,000 to keep the tax rate at 711. Right now, at the proposed 703 from the finance board, there's an $800,000 window there. So if you would decide you try to do a 1% tax increase, you have an additional amount of money you can add to get to that, 1% over the 800,000. So you'd be at about 1.3 million. You could increase the budget to have it at a 1% increase. So maintaining the current rate at 711, $500,000 home, 3555. That's the next line. Budget expenditures can increase by $800,000. This reflects a change of 1.99% in the budget. However, it's a flat growth. You're at 711. You stay at the same tax base you're at. And if you want to increase the values supported by the growth in the excess, the values of 0.015% in the non-tax revenues. That's where that increase is. That kind of explains where the increases come from. So that kind of gives you a general idea of the funding. The other pages I passed out, we will discuss most likely when you have, or when you discuss the school budget. These are all pertaining to the enrollments. I printed out a whole bunch of sheets that were supplied today just on enrollment figures. So you don't really have to pay much mind to those.
Sean, just one other question on that. Does this include the proposal for the senior center as well?
Yeah, everything. Yep.
Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
it does. Yep. That includes it all. So, yeah, because even the finance board one includes, the finance board, the 703 includes a proposal for the senior center. So in that, the way we've always done it, unless somebody wants to do it differently, we start out in big book, start out revenues, because there's only one revenue line item changed by the finance board. There's one revenue line item proposed change by the finance board. So we can start in the big book and it's on page 5. And I can just go through this, and if someone has questions, and again, I don't certainly have to go through every single line, but I can generally kind of explain it where the revenues are coming in. So at the top of the page on the general property taxes, so it basically, if you look over the, you can look, it's set up the same as it was last year, just to recap, 23, 24, 25. So you go back the last 4 years, current year 26, and you see actuals. You'll see this in throughout the whole book. Actuals of the 224, 26, that's when we made the book. That's what we've brought into date already to see. And revised budget in 26, we anticipate 77 million coming in taxes. And the proposal for 2027 is 79,989 coming in. And again, keep in mind, that is based on the proposed, 727. So if you go to the finance side, finance recommended budget, that number is going to be lower because that is 703.
What's the budgeted collection rate?
It's 99.9, was it 99.9, Sarah?
Well, that's what normally is realized, but
We're very conservative, so what do we say we're gonna capture, 90?
We budget at 97.9, but collection rate's 100%.
100% collection rate. So, again, you do that because if someone, I mean, you can, this is recommended by the,
yeah, you want to be
Yeah.
conservative in this area.
Right. So the next line, just to explain, that's the excise vehicle tax. And if you notice, that doesn't have any numbers across it. Is that, am I correct in saying that, Sarah? No, okay, that's copy DMV. That's a phased out one, but where's the other one? Where is the,
DMV,
no, that's DMV.
copy DMV release.
No, it's got to be one of these others. We'll get to it. RITT Millen. It's got to come from the state side. There's a listing on the state side. But the motor vehicle one, as you know, we don't pay motor vehicle taxes anymore. We kept getting revenue, it was around 5.6 million from the state in lieu of the motor vehicle tax.
It's on page 6.
Huh?
It's on page 6, the motor vehicle phase out reimbursement, page 6, under state grant and aid.
Yeah, I
general.
was gonna say it's under the state side. Okay, motor vehicle phase out, and if you look, it's 589325, but we'll get to that in a minute. But they're supposed to be revamping that to potentially generate more revenue because they're still getting the evaluation of the cars we had in 2018. It's never changed. It was supposed to redo every year, and of course it never did, and they keep talking about it. So this year was the year it may go up. I don't know whether it will or not. It depends if the legislation passes it. So the first one, general, is basically the taxes we take. So you have taxes on interest prior year, the personal property tax. I know Rose just asked me, the personal property tax side, you're taking 1,683,000 if you look at. So these are the projections based on, and just to explain how we actually come up with it, we look at, okay, what is the projection based on what we think we're going to, like personal property tax, based on what people are filing for the personal property tax now. So we come up with a projection of 1,683. The actual real current property tax is just based on the mill rate in the grand list. But the others, if you go tax on interest, we base it on, what we taken in year to date, what the projections are, what we're coming in at the 60% to come up with a number of what the projection is. Again, as indicated by the finance board, I'm very usually conservative when it comes to that. I mean, just because you don't want to fall short is my opinion. So anyway, that's the general property taxes that come in. Then you go down to the next group under licenses and permits. Those are the revenues that we take in internally based on fees and assessments and so forth we charge. Same thing. We look at what the trends are, and then we decide if we think we're getting in, we should increase it or decrease it. And if you go down through all those, there's nothing that alarming. It will show you, look at the change in the final column as the percentage of the increase or decrease. And if there's any large amount, then, that could be something you may want to ask, well, why is this going up or down? And just an example, if you go down, you got -10%, you screw across, it says marriage licenses. Well, that just means less people are getting married, right? Some might say that's a good thing, some might say it's not, but it's going down. And that's based on just because we budgeted 5,000, if you look, we've only taken in 1,024 February. So we have to have a lot of weddings in the spring to make our budget line item for that. So pistol permits and so forth, but you look at building permits is a 15.38% increase. Again, we base it on the trends that we're using. In other words, we budgeted 390 for this year. We've already collected 400,000 as of February. So we bumped that up to 450 for the upcoming year because the trends seem to be similar, even though it's a lot of it's remodeling and so forth. So,
The short-term rentals,
huh?
the short-term rentals is
Short-term rental is in there. I know, I just want.
budgeted the same amount.
Yeah, 103,000 is the projection based on what we have. No, one more down. I'm sorry, 175,000. And it's based, well, we kept the same amount going across because we did not increase the fee this year. The fee is the same as it was last year, so we're anticipating the same amount. So 132 we took in. I mean, that should be pretty much the same. So then if you go down, you're called under license and permits, that's $1 million we're taking in just in fees within the town. So you flip to the next page, fines and penalties, again, just same type of situation. A lot of this is on the, the PD side, criminal records, motor vehicle violations, action reports, parking tickets, as you can see, is a big one. We went up. Why'd we go up? Because we projected 130 this year. We're already at 149. So we bumped it up to 150,000. And so that brings on under fine and penalties, 281,000. Use of, then you go to the use of money, Build Back America bond. That's the, what is that again? APRA, that's the APRA or no? What is that, Sarah? Remind me, because,
That's a credit we get from the IRS
okay,
for a bond.
you got it. Credit we get from the IRS. So that's not something that's, we come up with a credit they're giving us. And if you look, because if you notice the other night, they talked about the surplus from last year increasing. And he mentioned a lot of it because you look, we projected 350,000 return on investments. And we've already taken as of February, 801,000. So the projection for the upcoming year, we're putting it at $1,000,001. So anyway, that's another $1.5 million. Then state aid, this is where we get revenue. You see the state beach at 300,000. We get the motor vehicle phase out. That's the projected amount. Again, unless that changes and they do up it. The meal tax, and interesting on those, we went up to 135 because if you look, we proposed it being at 1.25 million. We already taken in 1.1 million as of February. So granted, we're in the winter time, but usually that does pick up in May and June. So we're probably going to surpass our projection there. Same thing with the hotel tax, if you look. And then in lieu of taxes, the others are Westerly Library. So that's a wash because whatever we get in goes back out to them. If you remember discussing that last time. So that's projecting force 556,644. And that's another 10 million in the state side coming in. And then you go down to school grant aid.
Real quick, Sean, real quick. The very last one in state grant and aid is the cannabis regulation tax only coming in if we have that in town.
It hasn't, it's kind of a mess in the state. So you're talking about cannabis one?
Yeah, I just didn't know.
So
if we would get
there's
it.
6 or 8 in the state now. They're doing a lottery system we're going to get something. We have 3 licensed, 3 approved facilities in town.
Okay,
We may
that's-
not get all 3.
Okay,
Once that happens, then that tax, we start getting that
okay.
tax.
I just wanted to make sure that I was
Yeah.
understanding. Thank you.
I don't know. Obviously, we created this line at some point. We received $196. I don't know why. It might have been when one of those leases went in where the Bajas is now. It might have been something like that. They had to pay something. Well, anyway, we took in revenue. Then school, state aid for school. You can see that's the aid coming in from the school side. Again, Sarah, these are projected, right, on the school? That's projected, and it could vary a little bit, right? It may
Yes.
change a tiny bit once the state adopts a budget. So there's 2 revenues there you can see, a total of about 9.7 million we get from the state towards the school side to offset the school budget.
So that's a decrease in state aid.
It did. They calculated a new way of doing it, this blue ribbon commission or something, came up with a new way in how to equally disperse state education reimbursement to, and funding to the communities. And they revamped this whole formula to make it even, because some of the communities would get more than they should have been. It wasn't evenly distributed. And as I sat through this multi-meeting, I said, well, that's good. We'll get more money. There's 5 communities in the state that impacted negatively. Westerly was one of them.
Is it go off of our grand list?
No, it doesn't go off of the grand list. It goes off of your student population, and there's a bunch of other factors involved. But they revamped the whole thing because the bigger cities, the Cranston, the Providence, were
Yeah.
getting, $2 to every $1 we would get. And they revamped it, and it negatively impacted 5 communities, and Wesley was one of them. So,
Okay, thanks.
some new way of doing it. So that's why that's going down. I mean, if whoever asked that, Chris did. So that's the school one, then revenue from other sources. And again, you can look at, if there's questions on any of these, they're pretty self-explanatory. If you go through them, what it comes through, you look at a Verizon lease, that's a cell tower behind the police department that we lease. I mean, some of these, if you look at police private duty details, 450,000, really that's a wash. Basically, those are private vendors paying the officers working traffic, so it's a pass through. It's just, we have to put a number in there because it goes out, it comes back in. If there's any in there, anyone has any crazy questions on, certainly,
Can I ask a question
Yeah.
on under fines and penalties?
under what?
Under fines and penalty?
Yep.
The VIN. I just have a question on that because why is Westerly collecting money for the VINs when, is this a state thing?
State.
Because,
Nothing to do with us, state.
okay, so we don't
Well,
have, because did this happen on COVID or something where they switched it?
It was actually before COVID, but you have to get a VIN check. You get a VIN check
Mhm.
if you're buying a used car, it's only applies to used car, out of state title.
Right.
An in-state title, you don't have to. Used car, out of state title has to have a VIN check to make sure it's not stolen. So the VIN checks by state statute were done at your local
Mhm.
police departments. Every police department in the state does the same thing. They set the fee, the state does.
Okay.
We collect it, it's our money. We don't give anything to the state regarding it. And
Okay.
they take the VIN, they match it to the title, they match it to the VIN of the car, and they run it in the system to make sure the car's not stolen. We do thousands a year. We've probably done them for the last, I don't know, probably 20 years in the police department. I don't know that we've ever had one that's come back stolen. They
It
do.
doesn't make any
someplace.
sense to me
Yeah.
either, but
Yeah.
because you go to motor vehicles to register your vehicle and you have,
They will,
they have that information.
they were gonna push back. They were going to allow the dealers to do it. The dealer was gonna charge a fee that was over the fee that we charge. And there was pushbacks from the towns and cities in the state saying, well, wait a minute, we'll take the revenue. We're not gonna give it back to the dealerships. It has to be done, so it's still
Okay.
done, it's still done on the local level.
Thank you.
Okay, revenue from other sources, go through. If there's any
The-
questions on
The
those.
real estate transfer tax,
Yeah,
historically, it's been much higher than what's budgeted. Is there a reason it's
just
so
tell me. what
conservative?
Line we're on,
Um,
how far down?
406,900.
What is it, 406,900? All right, real estate, RTT town, yes, 675. Again, it's all hit or miss. It depends on the value of the homes. Are definitely sales on homes, which I guess Rose can attest to, are way down. Not because there's no inventory, there's nobody selling the house. So the ones that are selling, so again, it's a projection. Yeah, if you look across the board, 23, we're at 682, we went up to 790 and 25. What are we gonna hit this year? We might hit, I don't know, Sarah can probably tell us if you want to know where we're at right to this date. She can probably tell you exactly. Could you, Sarah, or no? Just give her a second. She could tell you where you're at now, and then you realize you're 10 weeks away from the end
By
of the year.
February, it was already 742.
42. So I'm one that's very conservative on things. You're better off shooting low. When you're coming over, it looks better. You have more revenue coming in. I don't know that we're in a position where we're in a bind where we're looking to increase revenue to offset a shortfall. We're really not at this point. So, but Sarah, if you have it, just interrupt. I don't.
We're at 878,000 currently.
878? 878. So we have 10 weeks left. So you could, whatever, if you wanted to.
I have another question. The solar project lease, what is,
Where do you tell me which line?
I'm sorry, it's number 406905. It's 120,000 all the way across the board.
Yep.
0% increase or decrease. What is that?
That is the revenue we received from the White Rock lease. So just to explain to you, I may have explained last year, but so the White Rock lease, we purchased a piece of property over the aquifer for rough figures. It was a little over three, but just say $3 million. The solar company that leased a portion of that to put a solar field on paid us $3 million at the same time. So it was a wash. We filed the $3 million into our income in. And when we did an audit, they told us we couldn't do that. You had to carry it out over the term of the lease. So the lease is 25 years, divide 25 years between 3 million. We actually have the money already. We have all the money, but we categorize it 120 a year for 25 years, even though we have all the money.
Yeah, it's still a wash.
Yeah, so a wash.
Thank you.
Chris, did you want to increase that at all? Or you just want me to keep
I,
going?
maybe we revisit that. I just,
You make a note of it to, it's up to anyone. Okay, you did, okay, all right, if you guys want to, that's fine, okay. So revenue from other sources, you're at 2 million. And then you have the recreation side of things, and that's all the recreation accounts when you're dealing with parking, concession, recreation fees, Main Street Recreation, which is the whole ice skating rink property. It's labeled that now because it's obviously Padel now also. You got another 600,000 coming in there, and that's bingo. That's your revenue coming in at 107 million, 746, 927. That's the revenue balance. So, and again, if you go to the, not that it will stay on the big book, but I just want to show you the difference on the small book. Is that it? What's the total revenue? So they took $2 million. No, the only other, yeah, so they took, no, I'm just in this handout sheet. I'm telling, the only additional revenue they added, this is my memo the memo that originally I had sent you back on March 24th. The only revenue they added was $100,000 for the senior center. That's not in here. So you're gonna be going up to 107,846. Right? There's $100,000. Because the senior center proposal was an additional 100,000 revenue coming in because that's basically the funding from the state that comes in for the meal program, which offsets the cost, you know, for the person in the kitchen and some of the expenses at the shelter. So that's 100,000 revenue coming in is added that the finance board added on their end. So that's the only revenue increase added on the finance board's recommendation.
Sean, for the ice skating rink, so we can, assume that 92,000 is what they brought in from the winter. And then right above it, the recreation fees, is that what would include anything to do with the rink? or-
Recreation is all the programs. They do the little bowling program, the after school program, could be the summer camp programs or so forth.
Okay.
So that is all your revenues. So the only thing you're not seeing on this, but it is in the small book, is the 100,000 extra from the senior center revenue projection. So it brings you up to 108,846. Hang on, I'm just doing one other thing. License and permits. Okay. All right, so now I'm on the general fund expense side. Are we okay? That is, okay. So the general fund expense side, it breaks down to each of the departments. And again, I'll go through them. And I don't want to belabor unless you want me to. I mean, I don't have to go through each line. We can go departments. If anything stands out or is alarming or anything crazy, certainly let me know. And it starts out with the finance board. They do get a stipend, as a result of their position on oh, no, I'm sorry. They do not get a stipend. That's a record keeper. That's the person that does their minutes for them. That's what that's for. Then you have the town clerk. And again, I would suggest going to the right-hand column if there's anything alarming that stands out. Basically is what I proposed in the budget was a 2.5% increase of salary adjustments to all non-union personnel. You'll notice once we get to the different positions, the contractual increase on the 808 side is 2%. And the contractual increase on the police side, I believe, is 2.5. When I get to it, it'll remind me. So that's when you see the increases along the way. So if you go down, I know one of the key things everyone always chats about, and they look at the alarming changes is in health insurance, right? So you see some of these adjustments, and I'll just give you an example. If you look at the town clerk, it says negative 24.45. So someone would say, how in the world are we going down 24%? People get married, they go to a family plan. So now we provide them with a single plan, they go to a family, the expenses go up. If they go from a family plan to a single plan, the expenses will go down, meaning expenses to the employee and the expenses to us. So you'll see that fluctuate. A lot of that can be in change of plans. The younger population, they hit that 26 number. They got to go on their own insurance because they stay on their parents' insurance till they're 26, so they can by law. Then they go on a plan and you'll see the health cost rates go up. Because Sarah, just for how much should our health insurance go up, or what are we projecting it at?
Projected 2% health and 0 dental.
2% health, 0% dental. So that's the projection of what we built the budget on. And basically we do that from the company that manages our whole health system. So they give us a projection of what they projected to go up, because just so everyone remembers, we're self-insured. We don't pay the premium per person. We pay the bill. We pay a fee to Blue Cross to manage the plan, and we pay as you go. And
What is the increase again? I didn't hear that.
2% medical, 0% dental. And Sarah, do you know, what is it on the school side?
Theirs was a lot higher, I believe around 10%.
You know what it is or no?
I don't know exactly.
Okay. We can you can ask that, I guess. We all have the same insurance, but it's two different groups. So the claim, based on your claims, basically rates what your increases or decreases go. So we're at 2%. I know theirs was higher than that, but then we're at 0%.
Why
They
are we
said
pulling their
9%.
pension?
Say it again?
Why are we pulling the pension?
Tell me where you're looking.
Very last line for town clerk.
Local 808 pension?
Mm-hmm.
We're not pulling that pension. See, it says administrative pension above it.
Oh, you're switching it over there?
Yeah, it's all on that at this point.
Okay,
You'll see that so the 808 pension is definitely the admin pension.
okay.
So there was a person under the 808 pension in the clerk's department that is now non-union, so it's all under the admin pension.
And we're,
So you see the increase in the admin pension side because of that change, and see it go up 52% from 13,000 to 20, because the contribution goes to that one.
And
I'm sorry.
that's okay. Did their union cut their clothing supply? Or
No,
did we-
because if they're not in the union anymore, we don't offer clothing.
Only in the union.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Okay,
mhm.
that makes sense.
Everybody in the union gets a clothing allowance. It doesn't matter if you work as a clerk or you work as a DPW worker, there's a set amount you receive for clothing allowance per contract. So you'll see that as we go through, based on the amount of employees, they get $150 per year per contract per clothing allowance. So you see as you go through. So that's anyway, that's the clerks. If you look through, there's made changes, there isn't any. Board of Canvases, now we're at, and you go through, it's pretty, I mean, if you look standard, nothing really crazy on the changes. Again, a decrease in health insurance. And again, you look at something like, office supplies, it's a 70% decrease because hasn't been used. So we lower it as a result of what the use is. But if
Wasn't that because of an election year?
Election year. So I was
Election
gonna
year.
say, if you look at the
100%.
election expense goes up 200% because this is an election year. So it fluctuates based on your on and off years of election. So. So anyway, moving on, unless it's by interrupt at any point, obviously, but legal services, town solicitor, that's his set contract price. Obviously, we pay above and beyond outside the contract. Part-time solicitors are the planning and zoning, planning and zoning, the prosecutor on the police side, that's that one, and then they have office supplies in there. And professional service is the above and beyond. That's the above and beyond that we pay, bills, annual monthly bills to, the planning and zoning side, the prosecution side, and or the general solicitor side. And if you look at the trends and what we've, we spent 316 as of February, so we'll probably hit that 350 range or maybe a little bit more. We left it at 350.
Sean, on number 506070, under town manager, it's on page 11, economic development. What is that for?
That's a line that we put in, Dylan, we're on page 10 of the big budget book, if that makes sense.
We haven't voted on anything, have we? to make
Everything.
it-
Vote on it. Page 10 of the big book. The economic development is a line item that was put in years back. That is, the Economic Development Committee can request if they need to buy something, flyers, or they need to print something or whatever, it was placed in the manager's line item to be approved by the manager.
Do you think that's something that needs to stay in there? I mean, have they?
Well, I didn't, if you notice, the budget is $2,000 last year and there's nothing spent. So I lowered it to $1,000 this year. I
Okay.
don't know that I recommend cutting it completely. If it doesn't, I mean, it's always there. It's a placeholder if it's ever needed.
Do those funds, go into the general, no, they don't carry over? from here.
No, they're carry over. None of these carry over. All these go back into fund balance at the end. Anything not used goes into fund balance. All right, so legal services, town manager's budget. If you go through, again, the only thing that, just to explain the percentage wise, I'm just trying to find where the heck, the contingency line. So the contingency line is really not a 619.92% increase. The contingency line, if you notice, it only shows you what the balance of the contingency line is. If you look at the 23, 24, 25, those are the actuals that was spent in contingency. That was the actual spent in the contingency. That was, if I'm not mistaken, Sarah, the 9,880 is what is left in the contingency. Am I saying that correctly?
Yes.
That's the balance, what's left in the contingency as of 2026. And then the revised budget, 13,891, that's what's left in the revised budget. It's a backwards flow in that. It shows, it wouldn't show the $100,000 line. It shows what the balance is left. And that's an area we put money in to offset increases in contracts to not, if you're not done negotiating a contract and so forth, or any miscellaneous expenses that we have throughout the year. Okay, I think that's all with that. Then you're down to the finance department. I'll just go through that quick to see if there's any crazy changes that warrant explanation. Again, if you look at this example, you look at that health insurance, it went up 26.43%, and that could be a result of somebody going to a family plan from a single plan. Okay, I'm on to the finance department total. Okay, assessor department.
All the increases mainly are all insurance. I mean, if you do go through
If
this,
you go
that's
through them,
where you'll see your
don't-
increases, all insurance.
If anything, you see usually mine are, if I can cut them because it's not getting used, we cut them, trim them down. So if you go through the assessor department, same thing, there's nothing alarming there. Other than fluctuations, you're correct, in insurance. Information technology I'm on now. And if you go down. Let's see if there's anything. So contractual services, that's all of our programming, finance programming, any programming we have in the town, computer programming, that's the contractual services that we basically comes out of that line item in the budget. Anything we use within the town. Short-term rental, licensing, all that stuff.
The 450 is for short-term rental and what,
That includes that in it. Mhm. That's not what we're paying for a program. I'm just saying that's one of the programs. I think the short-term rental fee is like 35,000 a year is what it is. It's right around there. So then you're at the probate court, and basically it's pretty obviously self-explanatory. That's a stipend we pay the judge. That's a stipend, right? It's a monthly stipend that they get. That, there's no projection in that going up. Again, if it's any wishes of the council, they can, but there's certainly not. I didn't propose anything. And if you look at that one, just to explain, if you see clothing 150, the probate judge is not getting a clothing allowance. That's the office assistant that's in there as your union position. It's mandated by contract. That's why there's a local 808 pension on it too. And then you have municipal court. It breaks it all down. And you could, if you ever wanted to compare, you certainly could. You could look at the revenues coming in on the fines and schedule side to see if it exceeds what that budget is, which it does. Municipal side, I can tell you. I don't know if the fines, the fees coming in on the probate side probably do not exceed that 108,000, that overall budget cost to operate the probate. Then you have the human resources. Same thing. I mean, if you notice, like one thing fell off, the police testing, it's all done through this, like I said, it's a centralized testing now. As I explained, we just changed that ordinance a few weeks ago. Really nothing of any significant in there. Then I'm down to tax collector. And then no, there's nothing really in there. And you can go to the bottom of those budgets to see the increase, decrease, like human resources, overall budget, negative 1.32. Overall budget on the tax collector, negative 2.05. There's nothing on that one. If we go to insurance and claims, this is all our insurance for all our properties and all our insurance we pay for the town. It is it's 10% because the insurance vendor told us to, estimated 10% increase on the insurance, which I think is probably very conservative because everyone's homeowner's insurance is going up far more than that. So, but they project it's going to come in with 10% on the increase. So. So that's the insurance part of it. Pension and OPEB, this is the police pension they spoke about last night, the other night at the when they did the audit report. So the police pension, you see the contribution is 1,899,200. My personal opinion, I don't agree with that, but I'm not an expert in the actuarial world. Because if you look at the current year that we're in, the actuarial was 2.131 million was the town's contribution into the police pension fund. This year, the actuarial is only telling us we have to pay 1,899,200. To me, I think and again, they're the experts. They're the ones that tell us to keep us on track. But the pension is not 100% funded. Granted, we are probably one of the top 3 pensions in the state as far as being funded. For some reason, they never seem to want to get it to 100% funded. I don't understand why, but they just don't. That's the market where they do it. So based on what our rate of return is on the pension and what the payouts are, that's how they come up with that number. So that number is truly what we don't fluctuate that at all. And I know it used to be debated between councils. Some years they wouldn't fund all of it. If you remember, Council Overton always wanted to give it more, to bump it up more. So whatever, it came in lower just based on your investment
Do we
rate
have
this year.
less retirements as well coming up, or do we have?
They factor all that in. They factor the tenure of the people that have on, when they can retire, if they retire, all that's factored in.
Okay,
I mean, that's what they give. My opinion, you should at least keep
be
it
a
the
little
same.
higher, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's high, right? It fluctuates, I know. Yeah. They have, there's
They've
good
given us
guidance.
good
Yeah,
guidance so far and
they have.
could give a little break this year.
Yeah. And then the OPEB, just to explain what that is, that's the after retirement employee benefits. So the benefits they get after retirement comes out of a separate plan That plan is not as funded because it was only started about 15 years ago. And I think that's at about a 48%, I think he told us funded, where the regular pension's at like 88, 89%. But that contribution, projected contribution is building that rate up to get into the 80s. So, and that's what it is. Other post-employment benefits, right? And the MERS retirement system, the MERS is, if you notice, it's just, there is, I think there's 3 or 4 town employees from years ago, town hall employees, that are still on this MERS system. There's nobody on it now. Nobody at all. There's no additional people going on it. And that's, so it's a consistent amount going across, so we have to contribute to the state system. Everyone's on a 401 type match now, that everybody in the town. So this is employees from the town hall from years ago. Hasn't been in place for years. We keep paying it up until obviously the time when they no longer collect it. And the same thing with the life insurance retirees. If you notice, that's dropped. There's one person now getting life insurance. There was some deal made years ago. One retired employee still getting lifetime life insurance. That's it. There's nobody else. Because you remember we settled that a couple of years or so ago. We had to settle with a bunch of them. So anyway. All right, so now I'm on, you with me, Dylan? You wanna, we're on page 15.
I'm with you. Got the right book, got my glasses, I'm ready.
Good, okay, page 15, well, bottom of page 15. So public safety and protection, this is police side of things. And if you go through, again, same thing. If you look, they're scheduled contractually to get a 2.5% pay raise. And it goes through all the positions, holiday, it goes through everything. And if you look under, you go to private detail wages, which is 500,880. That's what I told you was a wash. It was 450 on the other line. We went through already. It was 450 police details. This is where it captures it back on the other end for it to be a wash.
Are we cutting the mental health position or
Where are you? Tell me.
the second line mental health clinician?
Mental health clinician, no. I'll explain that. If you look to the thing, I'm keeping a line item budget at 25 in the event we ever have to fund it. The
Mhm.
problem is we put this, when I was chief, we put this position in a mental health clinician, and then we were awarded a grant for it. So we've never paid a dime for it. It's always been funded by a grant, and we keep renewing the grant. So we've
That's
cut
Gateway?
we've cut the salary structure down on it, trickled it down, hoping the grant keeps continuing. We know at some point the grant's gonna,
Yeah.
I mean,
Do you know how many that we do have on staff?
how many what?
How many clinicians we do have? Just one?
One
Okay.
clinician, there's only one. One clinician, but I shouldn't say that. It's one company that falls under the grant. We have a clinician 7 days a week.
Okay.
7 days a week, we have a clinician second shift, they come in, like 3 to 11.
Okay.
But there are clinicians we can use 24/7 out of the same group.
Okay.
But there's one actually at the police department, 7 days a week, 3 to 11.
Thank you.
So anyway, so that line item is still keeping because it's someday we're gonna, I mean, I know we're gonna have to, the grant, we're not gonna keep getting that lucky, but I mean, they should be funding them, but anyway. So you go down to the police, if there's anything crazy questions wise. And this is where I'm just looking to see, actually, it's not as much as I thought. If you look on the health insurance, there's a lot of the officers, you're hiring them at that 22, 23, and they hit that 26 and they're going on the town insurance. So usually you see an increase in the insurance rates on the health insurance, but it isn't really that high. It looks like it's 3.98%. So.
These salaries aren't shared with other water and sewer departments, right?
Say it again.
These salaries that are listed are full municipal government, right?
Police is full municipal government. They're not broken up. Some of the other salaries you're looking at could be, an 80% general budget, 10% water, 10% sewer. It could be, some of them are 70% general budget, 15 water, 15 sewer. Public safety are all 100% general budget.
Sean, I recently become aware that there's been an officer on paid leave for over a year now for an incident. How long does that stay open before you have to make a decision to either let him go or?
Well, no, the problem, no, it was a termination case
Yeah.
that went to Bill of Rights. That's the officer's right to go to Bill of Rights. There were.
Well, my problem is we paid him for a whole year and we haven't had an officer in that spot, so it seems like a
I
long.
agree with 100%.
All right.
That's the Bill of Rights system. It's already been to Bill of Rights, so waiting for the decision from the Bill of Rights panel.
When at Mercy, whenever they make a decision?
No, it was done, they finished it probably a month ago, so they're
Okay.
waiting for a decision to come in. It should be coming any time now. You're right. The problem is if the Bill of Rights panel upholds the town's position, you don't get any of that money back.
Yeah.
The problem is if they don't uphold the town's position and the person wasn't getting compensated, you owe all the back pay back. So and then they have certain rights. So I mean, it's a broken system. They just revamped the whole thing, and it's not that it's any better than it was before. It's the rights they have, so.
Thank you.
That's true, though, what you're hearing. So I'm going to see if there's anything else alarming on here. No, there's not. I mean, accreditation, if you look on the final line under the public safety, on the general budget part of it, there's a $20,000 line item. As we know, we just recently received state accreditation and national accreditation, which is a huge achievement. And, you know, there's an added line item is $20,000 to maintain that on an annual basis.
Can you go back up a little bit to harbor parts and police parts?
Yep,
We're already over on harbor parts.
right, but there won't be any additional expenses there.
None, okay.
Because what they do, they winterize the boats and so forth, and they get closed out. So it's obvious, you see it's 408 over. So
Does
it's,
somewhere in here is it on this side that funds that new position that just was posted?
what is it?
It's a harbor job. You guys just shared it on Facebook.
Oh, it's gotta be a seasonal, it's gotta be a seasonal, it's
So
gotta be
that'll be in a
seasonal.
different,
If you go on to seasonal wages,
okay.
if you go on to seasonal wages, which, let me just tell you what they are.
Yeah, it's all the way up to the top. I see
Do you
it.
see it?
Mm,
If you have someone sponsor it before I do, tell me, so. For some reason, I can look at it 10 times and miss it. Yeah, pump out boat operator. But you see seasonal wages?
I see part-time.
Oh, part-time, okay, so part-time is all the CSOs in the summer, the guys that get a ticket, and it's a pump out boat operator.
That's what it is.
So it's a seasonal position to work for the 12 weeks in the summer. So it comes under those part-time wages.
Okay.
And that's all funded through a grant too. So we get reimbursed from the state of Connecticut for all the expenses with this whole pump out. Pump out. It really doesn't, it's really a wash, really. It doesn't really cost us anything, but
It's a low.
other than
the
managing it
reason
to
I
get
asked,
personnel,
Because it's
yeah.
such a low.
Right.
Hourly rate.
But it's I know they always look for people, and it's a good little part-time job for a retiree if they like to drive a boat, you know, it's not bad. So public safety, civil preparedness, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. There's no changes in that. Those are stipends that are given. Public safety technology, this is the IT side on the police side. It falls under this department, but there's a separate personnel on it. And I cut, so this is one item I cut, or the planning board agreed to. I cut it because if you look at contractual services, 502,950. If you look at my proposal is 100,000 up from 70. That's
Page 18.
page 18. Public safety technology, I'm sorry. About 5 or 6 lines down, contractual services. 502,950 is proposed at 100,000. That's actually now proposed at 75.
75K.
75,000. And the reason is because they're required by state to go to a new software record keeping program that other departments have tried and it's failing. So we're not going to it as well as many departments have pulled out of it also. So I pulled the funding back because we don't need it this year. So I learned that when we were in talks with the finance board. So that wasn't them. I actually cut that down to 75,000, that adjustment. And then if you go to harbor management, that's the whole harbor program. And the next one is the animal shelter, which falls under the PD side. And there shouldn't be anything that alarming in that, changing wise.
I brought this one up last year too. It seems like and maybe they're not union and I need to be corrected, but the animal control officer and the assistant animal shelter director Everybody else goes up 2.5%. I know that it's contract, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, so the 0.01, no, their contract, 808, you'll
Yeah.
see it as we go forward, they're only getting 2%. Animal
Okay.
control officers are in 808 union.
Okay,
Like if you go back to the police side, just and again, not that, if you look at dispatcher, clerk dispatcher
Yep.
on the police side,
2%.
it's 2%.
Okay,
Because that's all that contract gives them is 2%.
Plus-
This year, the 2.01 for the assistant, that's gotta just be a roundup figure budgeting wise, the
Okay.
0.01.
for some reason, it just.
Because
always comes
that
out.
assistant animal shelter director is not in the union. That's not a union position.
Plus, since my dog passed down, they don't get those leash tickets anymore. Revenue's gotta be way down.
Yeah. Well, it's true. Yeah.
It's sad.
Um, I'm thinking if there's anything else crazy that, no, some of the things I knocked down just because of the, we're able to, no, there's really nothing that alarming in that. What's that?
Sorry, SUFA's doing most of our veterinarian stuff. We were able to cut that back.
What line?
No.
Toward the bottom of animal shelter, page 18, 4 lines up.
Offsite veterinary services, 2,500. That is if we have to take, if an animal gets, something happens in the middle of the night, we don't have our vet on call, on staff, we have to bring him to Ocean State or one or the other. We fund that, but keep in mind, SUFA and Friends of
That's-
Westerly Animals, they fund most of that stuff to all their donations and
Okay.
everything. In the event we have an emergency and we have to, we use it, but as you can see, it's not really getting used, which is a good thing. I mean, the benefit of the SUFA having a low-cost clinic there now is there was a vet there 5 days a week. We used to only have a vet 1 day a week. Now there's a vet 5 days a week. So it's very beneficial to us in the caring for the animals in our custody. All right, DPW maintenance. So again, if you go through that again, you'll notice there's some 2% increases because the 808 contract allows for a 2% increase. Any non-union personnel is proposed at a 2.5% increase. And I don't want anyone to think they're getting shortchanged because 2 years ago, they got a 3% increase where everyone, I mean, it's just the way the contract raises layout. So if you go, okay, that's DPW maintenance. That's obviously, if you go through it, there's nothing that crazy in any of those. If anybody has any questions, certainly ask.
I'm waiting for the fuel line is like way low in my.
Fuel and
opinion.
lubricants in it?
Yeah,
Fuel and lubricants, that's just a line, that's not their main fuel. I mean, there's vehicles on the maintenance side, like a pickup truck, and there's a couple of things on the maintenance side of things. So that's a line that, obviously you can see we went up to $1,800 on it. But that's not their main fuel line that all that fuel comes out of. Because if you go, just to tell you, so on the PD side,
yeah, no, I know that like we went up with gas and.
yeah, we
even
went up,
electric, but
I must not have went up that much. Based on
I'm
what-
jumping ahead, I apologize.
Yeah, taking it.
Sorry.
1,800 for fuel would be a great deal.
What is it? Yeah, that's where the big number is, right? So. Okay, that's the maintenance one. Now I'm on page 20, the administration side of things. If you look, it's general, there's nothing crazy on it. Engineering side, I'm on engineering. Yeah, we're not at the fuel yet. We'll get to that, Alex. It'll be on there, all right? The engineering department, same. I mean, if you look, it's nothing alarming. It's minimal, 2.5% to the staff. Engineering side, and then you're on DPW tree warden. That's a stipend. That's an appointment made by the council. It gets renewed every couple of years. And we actually do use that. I know there's some that don't get used, but the tree warden does. They'll come in and look at trees if we should cut them down, or they could, I don't know, a lot. So DPW highway and grounds maintenance, go through any questions regarding that. I don't believe this.
How could their salaries decrease
Which one are you talking?
on project? Staff engineer?
Tell me where you are. You're on the engineering side? So staff engineer, because it's somebody, we're bringing somebody new in, so I bumped the salary down. This, I'm bringing somebody new in, so what happened was the staff engineer went to, what do you go to, project engineer, right? No, I think he went to, that was right, he was a project engineer, he went to staff engineer, and I brought the salary down from him bumping up to the position. So then the vacancy became in the project engineer position. The DPW grounds and maintenance. I don't think there's anything that could. Yeah, so if you go, yeah, 503070, this is where you were talking, Alex. So 220, I bumped it up $10,000. Granite fuel is through the roof, as we know. We're anticipating it's going to come down. Obviously, we never know. It's a projection. But again, I base it on the actuarial. So if I'm at 94 come February, and so I say, okay, I'm past halfway through the year, so I'm probably gonna hit 185, 190 maybe, and my budget is 210. I went up 10,000 just with the anticipation of, based on the current, the current trends of fuel, hoping they'll go down. Overall, I'm trying to see if there's anything crazy. What did they do? They did the snow and ice, or no? Which one do you want? Yeah, but they switched it. So the next line, the snow and ice line, this is finance board made a move here. So I took the overtime and standby, which is the snow and ice, it's what we paid, and we've talked about it at a few of the meetings because of the snow we had this year. So you can see it's budgeted at 30,000. Snow and ice, which is 501040. It'd be page 22, first line of division of snow and ice. So you can see it was budgeted last year at 30,000. And as of February, we spent 156, so we're definitely a little over budget. Granted, it all balances out. We had $80,000 in a restricted account also for snow and ice, so that brought it to 130, right? So we're at 150 plus this crazy storm, recent storm we had. So I bumped it to 100,000. And the finance board left it at 50. They reduced that to 50, but they took the other 50 and put it in the restricted side. Because what happens if you don't use this 100,000, it falls off into the fund balance. If you put it in the restricted side, your 50 you put in there is going to roll from year to year, and it's going to build that balance up if you have a year like we had this year with a shortfall.
Good.
That was smart.
When I get to it, I'll tell you. Well, what's in it? We used it all. Keep in mind, we zeroed it right out this year. Restricted out this year. So it's building the restricted back
And
up.
although those are the actuals, that's going to be manipulated a little bit with funding from the state, right?
We get funding from the federal government, the FEMA,
Yep.
the FEMA. Keep in mind, that's not what it is. I think we're at probably 250 now. From
Okay.
This didn't include that latest.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
didn't include the latest storm.
Okay.
So it's probably at 250. We had 80 something in the reserve, so we had 130, so we're probably 120, 130 over budget on that. But they shifted money on the snow and ice on the 50,000 to the restricted side. They shifted, and then, I believe, Sarah, didn't we adjust the payroll taxes on that? So we
Yes.
took what 50,000 in payroll taxes were and shifted that over. And then materials, I proposed 75. They left 60 and then shifted 15 over onto the restricted side, which we'll go through when we get to the restricted side.
Sean,
So it's the same money, nothing changed. It's just they put it in a different line item.
could I just stop you for a second?
Yeah.
Just procedurally, what do we want to do? I mean, we've gotten to the first discrepancy since I've been here between the managers proposed and the finance proposed. I kind of like the idea of the restricted account and letting it roll. Do you guys want to take a vote as we go, or do you want to go through the whole thing and make notes and vote in the end? What's the procedure here, Chris? I'll let Chris, you might as
It's
well
up to
tell
you
us, you're the
guys.
president.
I mean, I agree with that. I agree. There's nothing wrong with putting it on the restricted side. That's a good idea. It stays in there, rolls in there. That's
I mean,
fine.
we could wrap that up right now, or you could wait to the end, Chris. What do you, how do you want to play it?
We can have a vote on this now, if that's what the council.
I mean, it's the
wants.
proposal.
But
of
why
the
do you have a
finance.
division of snow and ice if it should be all restricted?
You could make it all restricted, but
Don't you
usually,
need to have,
but I
you want
think,
to, you want to put restricted in all the overtime and standby?
no, I think it's
No.
important to leave a little bit. in
Yeah,
there,
you
because
split it
we
up
have
though, yeah.
Something I use throughout the year,
Yeah.
because then your restricted can build, you know what I mean? You can build your restricted. So I don't think it's a bad idea. I proposed 100, they split 50-50. I mean, you can, if you want to approve it, you can prove their change to, but again, or you can wait. It's up to you guys, whatever you.
If it's something we all agree on, do you want to approve the changes we go?
Sure,
All right.
let's do it now.
I'll make a motion that we approve the Finance Board Committee's recommendation on the split between the restricted fund and the snow and ice fund.
Second.
On the division, or the changes on the division of snow and. ice.
Yes, yep.
So is that materials or labor?
That's both. They took money out of the
Materials and.
material side too, and the labor. So they took material, I proposed 75, they left 60 in it, because we do buy material every year, put 15 on the restricted side so it can roll.
Okay.
Yes, yeah,
No, he wanted to take a vote to take the finance board's advice in
recommendation.
recommendation in what they did for the division of snow and ice. Mhm.
Real
Good
quick,
idea. All in favor?
not to complicate things, but point of order, didn't we accept the finance board's version
No.
when when
No.
they?
No,
presented
we just accepted that they completed it. We didn't accept.
Gotcha,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah. We accepted that the recommended budget was
Dennis,
completed
you
and
need to
didn't, but we didn't accept that we were gonna, that was our starting point. Kind of like what we did with, I don't know, remember the ad hoc committee? We accepted that.
It doesn't,
they
it
finished.
doesn't approve the budget. We
Yes,
just
we never said approve.
Took it.
No, sorry, I didn't mean approve
Yeah.
the budget. I just meant, isn't the version we're technically working off of, even though we're working off of this one, isn't the official one we're
Any-
working off of the
Any
finance board
changes that
approval
the
one?
council makes to the finance board's recommended budget has to be published. We'll
Right,
have to
so,
address that.
so Dylan is suggesting we make a change to the manager's original proposed budget, but we didn't accept the.
I guess what Mike's asking, what's our baseline is what Mike.
The motion you made, if I'm not mistaken, was to accept the finance board's recommendation for the snow and ice account
Only,
only.
yes.
Yes, so my point is the baseline not what was recommended by the finance board? Okay.
Where
And I think for the.
Oh, sorry, the clerk is
It's-
saying yes. Yes, it is.
it's,
I don't think it is either. I might be wrong. I wouldn't believe that it
No,
was.
you can use any line,
Yeah.
any change you make a motion, make the
it's a
change.
guide. We have to approve anything they present.
Right, any changes you make would be against the finance board's recommended budget.
Well, why is the finance board the baseline though? I mean, we just accepted that they completed
You didn't
yeah,
accept their.
I didn't
budget.
accept their budget, exactly, yeah.
Right
I,
now, we're just going over the manager's proposed budget. He's identifying some things. Well, as we go along, he's identifying what the finance board changed
By identifying the changes the finance board
as we
made.
go.
and what
As
what
we
I
go
think
along.
we need to do for the public is if we're going to recommend anything that the finance board, we need to say the numbers so the public knows.
All right. To finish wrapping up this discussion, I would rather use Sean's proposed budget and then, and start from there.
You can
Mike. Is that-
accept their changes as you want, as
Yeah.
we go along, if you want.
I
Okay,
agree.
all right.
I prefer,
It's not a ton of them, so it's not that hard to do it that way.
when I
really.
did it, like when I was at home, I used yours as a baseline.
Baseline.
Yeah.
And then finance board as a suggestion,
Right.
but this is what I worked off of is yours.
They're advisory. They're giving you their opinion as to changes and you.
It's not, it's more than advisory, it's part of the charter. They
I
have to go
agree, I
through it.
agree.
So it's 6 one, half dozen the other. If you want to use the manager's budget as baseline, I'm okay with that. I don't know if
Yeah.
we've done that in the past, but
I think it's a little
No,
more
we-
clear that way.
Well, you gotta remember last year, it was exactly the same. The finance board and the manager's budget, there was zero changes, so.
Anything that ends
Years
up
back.
different, anything that ends up different from what the finance board recommended will be identified.
All right.
And
I
At the end,
think.
but
I
this is
think
easy,
what
you're
we-
like-
What we have tonight is recommendations of the finance board that we all agree with. So let's just call that vote. This locks in this policy that Dylan is suggesting to
Wow.
protect these potential overages in the future from leaving in a restricted fund.
Oh, well, I suggested, but I like the suggestion. All right, so we got a vote and we got a motion in a second. You guys want to
All
vote
in
on it?
favor of the,
I still think we need to say the numbers for the public.
well, Sean did.
I think you can-
Finance Board suggested 50,000 and moving 50,000 to restricted under overtime and standby 501,040. Finance Board recommended 60,000 under materials section, line item 503020. And the, both are moving into the restricted fund, and when we get over to the restricted, we'll reference how it increased.
So just to explain, and I don't want to confuse anybody. So their recommended, they broke down payroll taxes too. So their total change, just to, so I explain it, because you may want to mention it in your motion, you know, Division of Snow and Ice 01011-106. They made a recommended change, just as you explained, the total was $68,825 came out of the Snow and Division Ice and went to the restricted side. Same money.
So payroll taxes, 502,210 is now 3825.
You got to shift the FICA over too, is what we're doing. Sure. Okay,
The reason I have the numbers is I sat through them.
well, good.
So the total was 68,825. They shifted from the Division of Ice 01011-106 total over to a restricted side on their recommended budget. It's in their book as their recommended budget.
All in favor of the shift?
Aye.
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 Any
Aye.
opposed? Thank you. Good idea, Dylan.
All right, so that's the Division of Snow and Ice. Again, I don't, you know, if anyone has any, I know that it's already a motion made, but different feelings, the likelihood of getting 2 years in a row like we did, hopefully is slim to none. So I think building up that reserve side is a good idea. So DPW, utilities, I'm on now. And it basically goes through the electric, and keep in mind, this is all of our buildings, natural gas, water. If you notice, heating oil is dropping because everything now is electric and natural gas.
Where's the gas expense?
Say that again?
No, the fuel.
For that?
Where's our fuel expense? Is that one
Fuel
one
expense,
item? Is that by?
230, what was it? 220,000. What is it? 503070. 503070.
Yeah, they keep-
220,000 is the fuel and lubricants. Is that what you're asking me, Chris? What the fuel for
I'm
the
looking for it. I still don't.
page 22?
Yeah,
For 22, go down 5 lines from the top, fuels and lubricants. 503070, 220,000. Yeah, went up 10, I explained all that. 220, we're at 94 now, which means we'll probably be at 185, 200 by the end of the, this budget year. And, proposal is 220, based on the fuel prices. The DPW utilities at the bottom of that page is basically what you're looking at there. That's the gas and electric and so forth to, for the buildings. The streetlights, you know, again, I finally confirmed that the streetlights, the state did take over all the state streetlights. Reluctantly, they took it over, but they did. I know, yeah, so. They did. They just signed, actually, it was probably only a month or two ago, it was all signed over, so.
So this amount is accounting for their,
It is. We cut that 2 years ago
yeah.
because it was supposed to happen and it hadn't. But again, we haven't been, if you look at the amounts that, you know, we've been, it's still in limbo. The court awarded it to them. We think the state's been paying it right along. They just haven't admitted they have, because we haven't seen a reflection. We saw the decrease in expenses, but they officially signed them over. So if there's a burnt out light on the state road, it goes to the DOT side, which we were reported to, but it goes to their contractor to replace that light.
So this number is good in here?
Good in there, yep. Yeah, because we're at 79, which means, you know, as it gets lighter out, you're using less light. It fluctuates by the year based on that. So we should be fine. Okay, that's utilities. I'm in DOT, DPW equipment maintenance. Again, go through it. If there's any questions, any alarming questions, let me know. And the reason professional development, again, it's not a high number. It only went up $600. It's for the licenses these guys get that we pay to renew them. Is why it's going up. Safety supplies, sorry. Okay, so now I'm down to I'm on page 23, down to the Senior Citizen Center. So does anyone want to take a 5-minute break to get a piece of pizza or something? I mean, I can explain this new budget. Everyone's good? Good? So again, the Senior Citizen Center, this is what was, in other words, theirs is through a subsidy, correct? So theirs is through a subsidy. If you look at the subsidy at the bottom, it's $278,125 is what's recommended in the budget. I did a whole proposal, which I emailed to everyone back to propose us taking it over. And again, this is a result of several meetings I've had with them regarding the operation of the center. There's a board for the center, and as I broke it down in the email, there's a board at the center that basically controls the operation of the center, as is every center in the state. My proposal that I had emailed out was for us to take over. Keep in mind, we own the building, we maintain the building, we maintain the grounds of the building, we pay all the expenses on the building, and we provide all the services, the maintenance services within the building. Is to take over their staffing to our side. So we would have a same thing. All it does is change the senior center budget line item, the actual account or the budget line to take over that personnel and put the personnel onto our side. So all in all, and we're going to go to the other book to look at that because that's in the other book only. So give me a second as I'm explaining. So that generates an additional 100,000 in revenue. The senior center board, we're one of 2 senior centers in the state that are not operated under the municipality or the city or municipality. We're one of 2 that are independent. I just think, my opinion, that senior center is used 7 days a week. During the week, sometimes 2 shifts. It's not just a senior center, it's a community center, whether anybody wants to admit it or not. There is upwards of 22 AA meetings a week in that center, 7 days a week. There is knitting classes. There is things that happen with the school in there. I mean, it's my opinion, we are falling very short on the services we're providing our seniors. And this is long overdue for us taking it over for the short dollar amount. All in all, as was explained, it's about a 90, and it's in the finance board's recommended side, $94,000 increase for us to take over the entire operation of the staff. And if we have control of the staff, we have control of the social worker, basically the whole operation. We're paying for everything anyway, but it allows us to retain all that. And I think it allows to increase the services because in that, the 94,000 increase on our end that it would cost to run this to take over the facility, the board for the senior center would remain because their responsibility is to fundraise. They do the bingo. We can't do the bingo. The municipality can't do it. They do the bingo, the raffles, the little trips they take. So they generate roughly around $180,000 a year that goes back to all activities free for the seniors. So we pick up 100,000 on our side, the expenses of the salaries to take over, but their 180,000 or could be more, but that's what it is now, goes all back to the senior side of the thing for activities. They provide the activities, they provide all the little events and classes, and I mean, they pay for all that as they do in all these other senior centers all over the place. So that board would remain. It wouldn't have anything to do with, we wouldn't get into the operation of those activities.
Sean,
38,
38.
well, go ahead, Alex.
page 38 in the.
38.
Okay, thank you.
I
You
just
have a
want
question? Go ahead.
Yeah, I just have a couple questions.
Yeah.
Only.
Well,
I-
again, I was gonna say 38 in the small book. I just think it's important to go through that in the small book because it's not broken down in the big book as the page 38, so.
And I'll preface this by saying I like this. I'm in
Mhm.
favor of it, but I just wanted to
Yeah.
know this $94,000. How many salary positions does that entail? Does it, the 5, okay, does it take into account benefits,
That's
retirement, stuff
everything.
like that.
It's broken
super
down the
nuts.
budget. It's healthcare. Keep in mind, it's healthcare, it's payroll taxes, it's.
Retirement too, like if they're gonna be town
administrative pen-
employees.
It's what?
They're gonna be town employees, are they gonna be
Town
on a
employees.
pension? Okay.
Not pension, it's a 401.
Oh, okay, for,
Yeah, 401, same salaries right now. I'm not increasing. There's nothing, it's based the same salaries that they're at now. But I think they're falling short. There's a social worker up there. The social worker services are not really providing the social worker services they should. That should be under the control of the town. We have no human service program in town. Nothing. There is nothing. We don't have it. We rely on everyone else to do it, and we have no control over it. Right now, I was up there last week, they have, and this impacts you, but it probably really doesn't because you're going crazy anyway. They do about, I think, 2,300 tax returns for
I've
seniors.
sent about 100 people to them already, believe me.
For free. It's a service that's for free. We're providing the center, we're providing, we're providing all it's just, again, I think it's long overdue. I really do. I just think this is something that should have taken place. They do wonderful things. I'm not knocking the senior center at all. I really not.
Can
So
you describe the numbers? I mean, page 38 of the
38,
finances.
so 38 breaks it all down. So if
It
you
says
look.
474, 653.
It's 474.53.
You had
minus the
budgeted
100,000
278, 125.
minus 30,000 in revenue, 100,000 in revenue, so really the budget is offset by 100,000 in revenue, so it's 374,653. The proposed original budget was, well, the subsidy side was 278, so the difference between 374 and 278 is $94,000 and change. So if you look, this breaks it all down. Senior Center Director, Community Information Specialist, which is basically the social worker, site manager for the food side of things. And then there's two other personnel in the kitchen. And there's two part-time administrative assistant, and there's a transportation driver. That's a part-time position also. That's it. That's the staff for the entire center. So you break it all down, you see payroll taxes, health insurance, everything along the way that's in there.
So 5 employees for 94,000. Great.
Yeah, 94,000 increase. I mean,
And
again,
Sean,
I just think let's face it, we all can be there at some point. I
Yeah.
mean,
and Sean, like the meals aren't changing, the.
Nothing. no, we have to do the meals. Well, I think we can increase the transportation program. I mean, I truly
yeah.
do. We own the buses. We bought the buses for them. I
Oh,
think we
okay.
can increase the transportation program, to provide more service for them. The meals, we have the meals are set by the state. That we have to, there's meals
It comes from Warwick, yeah.
5 days a week,
Yeah.
the whole deal. They come from.
Yeah.
I don't know, there's a vendor that does it for the entire
Yeah.
state. So they
They're allowed to
charge,
expand the meals to the Pawcatuck residences.
they can, the Fort
As
Talk
well.
residents can come, they
Mhm.
can.
And
So
then with the-
they can be up to 300 meals a day.
But-
You can get up to 300 meals a day. They charge, this is the way the meals work though. They
Right.
charge $3 a
Right.
meal. If somebody doesn't have the means to pay the $3 and they can only pay two, they pay two. If they only have $1, they pay $1. If they don't have anything.
Will that change? Because right now with the senior center, with the meals, some of the seniors, that's their only meal. It's their only.
That's their only meal a day.
And they're not allowed to take anything home with them if they can't finish that meal. Is that going?
I have no idea how that works.
No, no,
I mean,
no,
I can-
that-
Yeah,
that's true.
I don't.
So would that change or would that stay?
I don't,
the
I can
same.
look at, I mean, I'm
I would
being
assume it
honest.
would not change.
I don't know, I don't think anything would change, but I don't know
Right.
why you couldn't take your meal home if you didn't finish. I mean, what difference does it make? You throw.
Yeah, no, they
It's gonna
can't.
go in the
No,
garbage
no, they
anyway.
can't, they
That's
can't
silly.
take their milk home. They can't take anything home that they don't finish.
Oh, I don't know. I can
Yeah.
look into that. I think that's crazy, but that's the end of
Yeah.
that. But it's some of the seniors that go, it's their big meal of the day.
It is their only meal for some of them.
Big meal
yeah.
of the day. I mean, they do wonders. They take donations from the supermarkets. They give out food and breads and, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff, wood shop. I mean,
Yeah.
you name it. I mean, there's things going
Will
on.
that, will the membership continue? Will that go
Membership
to
continues.
the board or to the town?
No, the membership continues and goes to the town.
The town.
The membership fee goes to the town. Yeah. So
And-
again, it's minimal. I think it's $25
it's
a
not-
year.
it's
Yeah.
not much.
And
minimal.
would the lady that took over Nicole's spot, I don't remember her name, would she become like our social services person then that since we don't have one per se?
The social service
Yeah.
person now will become an employee of the town.
Yeah,
There's nothing changed. It's all the same personnel that's there.
right.
It's all the same. I think Edie, the transportation person, is
Right, she does the
retiring.
transportation and food, right.
Retiring. So
50
again,
years, yeah,
might be
I'd
something-
retire.
might be somebody new going in that. The plan was to retire. I think the kitchen manager person is up in the.
And and you have what, like just 2 or 3 people that are hourly, hourly.
People that are hourly. They just part-time personnel that are hourly.
So,
Thank you.
getting back to the, the brass with this, so we'd be, increasing this part of the budget for about 94,000. You say they make around 180,000. So
They make 100.
They-
We're making an additional 100.
okay, so
100
we'll
goes to the
basically be
town.
covering what we invest in it will be covered by what they do. So it's really not we're not taking a hit. It's basically a win-win.
You're taking a $94,000 hit is what you're taking to provide.
So what,
Because the 180 they're making, they're putting back into all
Into
their
it.
activities and whatever things they do with the seniors.
so we wouldn't make anything on this deal as far as
They don't make any, other than the 100,000.
we'll spend 94 and get nothing back besides services
Besides the
for the
opportunity.
seniors, which
Yeah,
I'm
we're taking
for.
100 in, but it's costing us 94
Okay.
overall net on the end of the budget.
And
Okay, just
how
want to be
many-
clear.
How many senior centers are there in the state? Does every town and city have one? or
30,
most?
30, I think they told me 34,
34?
34 senior
Something like
centers in
that.
the state.
Okay.
I know you said,
And some of the communities have two, right? I mean, there's more than one. Some of the bigger cities might have
you said that they're raising their own money for programming.
programming.
Are we're not gonna put anything toward that at this
I
point?
wasn't this year because I'm trying to not alarm the heck out of everyone when we do this. That was the thought.
Uh-huh.
I talked to him about that. I mean, because really, I mean, there might be some programming that might be our
Right.
responsibility at some
Right.
point.
I
mean,
just didn't know if it would be something that we could discuss on just bringing that to a flat 100,000.
1,000, you couldn't put
And
$6,000 in programming.
But could we
Yeah.
actually have a senior
Yeah.
center restricted fund?
Right, right.
And
That
have-
rolls, yeah.
Yes,
That's an
That's-
idea too. I mean, it can
that's
good
something
idea.
that I would think.
I like that.
Where do you want to put that?
I would like
Just
to
create a
have
restricted line,
programming
yeah.
line item for activities programming and bring the 94,000 up to 100,000 as a flat 100. But the programming amount that doesn't get used or the programming would be a restricted fund. So it will roll over and not just go into GF.
I want to talk about that for a minute too, to follow what Alex.
We have to put it in a restricted
Yeah.
account. It couldn't go on
Because of
this line.
this,
It has to
okay.
be in a restricted.
So that would be
restricted
6,000
account.
more?
I got some questions on the semantics of, they're still taking 188 grand through their private 501c3. This is going to be a town-run business now. Why are we not controlling the services? I mean, they're going to still kind of operate separately from us with their services, but we're own it and we subsidize it. Or explain that to
We're
me.
not-
188 grand that they bring in. Why wouldn't the town have control of that and decide what
We
that money
can't,
is?
we can't get into any fund. We don't fundraise.
We don't fundraise, but it's
That's
the
all.
senior center. We're the senior center now. The town of Westerly is
Yeah.
the senior center.
So
They're
you
still-
do, it's a volunteer board, non-compensated board that's appointed by their members. Members vote and they raise money to do activities.
And none of them are paid, but none of them will be paid positions from us.
Nothing,
Okay.
nothing to do with that, no.
So they're gonna raise their own money and do their own bingos or
They're
whatever it
gonna,
is.
you can't, we couldn't do bingo. We couldn't do it as a municipality. It has
That's
to be-
true. I get
It
it.
has to be by a 501.
All right.
They do little raffles, Christmas basket raffles,
All right.
things like that.
All right, so they still have their independence in a way, is basically what you're telling me. Oh,
Mhm.
okay, that's fine.
So, this restricted that you're suggesting?
It has, it would have, Sarah would have, am I right? Sarah, you'd create a restricted, under the restricted line, she'd create a line, just like you mentioned. It's not in this budget, it's in the restricted side, which is associated with the senior center, that funding goes into and rolls.
Can we,
Because none of this rolls. If you don't spend this, it falls off and goes back. No.
Where would that restricted fall? So we can add it in now while we're on this, while we're on the,
Yeah, Sarah
Senior
can
center.
make a note to add it in on the
can you
restricted
tell us
side.
where it is?
Oh, you want to know where the restricted is in the budgets? There's not a line for it, so you're creating a new line.
You're gonna
under
create a new
restricted.
line?
Yeah, that's
Well,
fine,
I'd
that's
like
fine.
to clear it up now if we can.
So Sarah, the difference between that, because it's 94 and change, right? Between that and 100 goes into the restricted side.
can we take a vote on that now or
I
do we
would-
want
I do.
to? Yeah.
I would actually think, because you're talking 94,000, but your paper says it's 96,528.50.
Okay,
So,
then it's 96. I'm
so I would,
don't have
I would think
Where
that
you're reading.
100,000, maybe we should make it a little higher in the restricted
Okay,
fund.
That's fine.
Shut up, Bill. I'm sorry.
Okay, so then in that case, if there's a, what, $2,000, I'll go. I was gonna say 110. So I would make a motion to raise the senior citizen center budget,
Restricted fund.
Create a restricted.
create a restricted account,
With an amount, whatever amount.
You're gonna add 10?
and I'm gonna add. Right? Is that 10,000? I mean,
Just make a
100.
number.
all right, well, I'm gonna go with 110 then.
And that,
Well, you can't do it that way.
Why don't we just go with Sean's number? We can always adjust it in the future, guys.
No, I'm
Yeah.
just saying, we're going to restricted
I
fund.
want the
You want
difference
the
of
difference.
the 96.
To 110.
Yes, I want,
Difference between 110 and the line item amount.
there we go.
You
Perfect.
understand that, right? Yeah, okay.
110
Good, okay.
minus the operating of 96 into the restricted. Is that the motion? Mary second, okay.
And
Go
one,
ahead.
Mary,
I have the number if you want it.
Good.
I mean, Sarah will create an account number for it, which we don't have yet. She'll have to.
You want it?
Yes.
13, yeah. The amount is $13,471.50.
That would be the result of the restricted fund raising the total of 110. So that's the operation in restricted programs. Motion was made and seconded by Councilor Shalaba. Discussion? All in favor?
aye.
Any opposed? That's approved. Do we want to approve the managers and finance board recommendation to include the full operating budget of the senior center into the manager's budget?
so moved.
second.
So move second by Councilor Healy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Yeah, good job, Sean.
Seniors will be very thankful. That's my opinion. But they're only part-time, so they don't really, I don't even know if it benefits them at all. All right, so now we're on subsidies, community service. Are we ready to jump into that? You ready? Huh? Yeah, there's the only page I wanted to show you in that book. Okay, so you're back to page 23 in the regular budget books. So there is a,
I'm gonna stop you right here on page, I didn't even get down two lines here. We're still giving money to Wood River Health?
pump the brakes for 1 second. Let me
Okay,
get us there.
go ahead.
And then so there's
Give
a,
them a whole house, a lot, I mean, they want
there's-
money.
so I would prefer if you could, hang on, restricted capital. Where's the subsidy? Right here. So you're better off, there's one in the big book and there's one in the small book. So there's a big page of subsidies I'm in the small book right now, but it's the same in both of them. So it doesn't matter. There's a big page that says subsidy. And I think it's important for you to look at that because it shows you what the subsidy request was along with the amount that was in the budget that I proposed. All right, so and Sarah would be able to provide all the subsidy applications if anybody wanted to see the subsidy applications, you can see them. So if you go to that big one, it starts out the same thing we're on here. Subsidies, community service, that's the first one, right? So it's the same list that's in the big book. Does everyone have that big page? It's a longer page. And you can see on the very
I'm not
end.
there yet.
There's one in the big book too, but either, whatever way you want to do it.
It's in the town manager's small book.
Finance book, or the big one. It's in both. You can, either one. It doesn't.
All righty, thank you. Now
So if you look, it basically shows what we gave in the current year, what the recommended from my side was, and then what the ask was. So you'll notice in looking at these, majority of them, I level fund them. If you guys, this is usually a discussion between your group, if you want to increase, but I want you to see what the actual asks is from each of the groups. And there was one additional one. Did we have that, Mary or Sarah? What was the additional one we just got? That we're gonna consider asking book, do you know what do you remember what it was?
No, I'll look at my email and. see
Okay,
which one.
there's one we just got in. There was a new group that asked, and I said, get it to me. I'll ask if the council will consider it. It was a small ask, like $5,000 or something like that. Sarah will pull it up, but we can talk about that as we go through these. You could, yeah, that's right. So if you look at these, again, I don't know if you want to go through them one at a time, but if you look at the ask and what the recommended was, like Wood River Health, they requested 15,000 last year. The recommendation they asked for this year was 13,502. I don't know where they came up with the 502. I'm kind of a round guy, so I went to 13. It's up to, so again, now you had a question, Don. What'd you ask?
Well, I was just gonna say, we gave them the permission to build on the greatest lot left in all the town of Westerly. You think that'd be enough to hold them over for 50 years? I mean, I
think
mean,
that-
we still give them a subsidy on top of that. I mean, what a gift they got from the town already. I mean, Howard Street School, you could not find a better piece of land maybe in the last 50 years. So we want to continue to subsidize them on top of that?
To be fair, I think
Believe
it's
they're
a really-
providing services for free. I mean, they're providing services to people for free. They're the only Medicaid provider in the area. Keep in mind, I'm not here to.
And
tout-
we thanked them in
Uh,
spades when we gave them.
I'm not here to tout Wood River Health, but they're the only Medicaid, and you realize 25% of our current population qualify for Medicaid and under the services of Wood River Health. I'm just saying they do provide a tremendous.
I agree. I just thought we gave them enough to cover ourselves for a good 20, 30, 50 years, I think was the least. I would have said that we did all we could for God and country in that one, but
I think that the blueprint for that only gave like 3 offices in.
They have a whole section. They have a.
Yeah,
break-
No, they have half the building.
Yeah, they
Keep in
dominate
mind,
that.
They have half the building.
It's nowhere near what they're looking for. They're looking to expand dental services in town.
Mhm.
This is just medical, am I right in saying that's yeah,
So-
okay. Behavioral health and medical.
So they got 15 last year and they're only asking for 13 this year, 13.5.
502, yeah.
And
So
we-
I recommended
And you just
13.
brought it down to 13.
Again, I just want to see if there's any other crazy ones that I changed. The Olean Center asked 25 this year. Last year, they asked for 15. I bumped them to 20. Living closet, I'm trying to.
The living supply closet was one that I wanted to bring up. I'm not sure if anybody knows what that is, but
I do. I don't
You
think,
don't
I don't,
know.
I don't think it's
I-
there anymore. It used to
It
be at
is.
Christ Church. I think it's gone.
they moved, but they're still there. And they do work with, okay, so I'll just use the education center as an example. They have programming there and classes there that are free or go by your income. If you need to go to an interview, if you get a new job and you do not have clothing for that, if you want to show up looking professional, but you don't have a job, so how do you do that? This is who, they have a literal closet for free. You go in there, if you need kids' clothes, you need clothes they're there to help you get a foot in the door. So I would like to see that particular line item go up. I'm happy that we're giving them what they asked for. So I'm happy with it, but I do want to.
Is that the official group that's there, or is that part of the program at the other place?
I actually don't know the answer to that. I'm not
Are
gonna.
they affiliated with someone else or?
That's what I'm asking. It
Yeah.
could be affiliated with someone else, if we can find that out.
No, the living supply closet is the living supply closet. I think they're their own group.
They stand on their own.
But are they officially operating out of some other place? And Are they still?
I don't know
Are
that.
they
It would
asking
be
for
on
any?
their, it would be on their application. I mean, we could,
I mean.
I mean,
it
their
used to
ask,
be at
their ask was
Christchurch, and I
It used to be at Christchurch, yeah.
used to be at Christchurch,
Yeah.
but I think it's at Pawcatuck Center now, the Pawcatuck.
oh, it's no longer in Christchurch, you're saying this?
No, it's not
is
in
on-
Christchurch.
Hasn't been there for a
No,
while.
it's
Okay.
not at Christchurch anymore.
Yeah,
No.
I don't know. Their ask is 2,000. I mean, obviously they were asking the same that they got last year.
They did ask for it again.
They asked for 2,000. And when they got 2,000 last year, they asked for 2,000. They're asking for 2,000 this year. Again, you could,
So it is, I wanted to say Warm was involved, but I didn't want to misspeak. But it is, it's listed as a resource across the board on like all of our, on Johnny Cake, on South County Community Action, Pilgrim Baptist Church, they all list.
Does the
This
application
resource.
show where they?
the application would show everything. Sarah has all the applications, actually. Did you
We can
bring it
come
with you,
back to
Sarah,
it.
or no?
Alexandra, I'll make you a deal.
Yes, Dylan.
If you want to borrow money from the,
Dylan.
If you
Dylan-
want-
I'll give you, I'll bump every one of them, whatever you want.
Here we
You
go.
got my vote.
Where you going?
Just pull the living closet,
Well,
Sarah, and see. what
Sarah's
they're-
pulling the application so we can see where they operate from.
I have a question. So all of these people that are asking for this money, do they, when they apply for these, do they tell you what they want it for?
Yeah, no, there's an
They
application.
do.
for
Okay,
every-
so it's on the application.
They have to fill out their nine, am I saying it right, Dylan? 990s, you gotta have the whole,
Is there a way for, is that application public? Can we look
they
at
are
it?
public, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
There's this huge binder. She has it right in front of her.
I didn't know there was even such a thing.
Yeah, you have to, and they have to fill out, so they fill out quarterly expense reports to us to get quarterly payments. I mean, it's, you don't just.
You don't
cut-
just
yeah.
give them 30,000.
No.
Good.
Where
So
are
they
they
have to
located?
come
Sarah?
to you with receipts.
It's under Johnny Cake Center of Westerly, and then in quotations, it says Health and Hygiene Supply Closet, 23 Industrial Drive.
So it's a subsidy of the Johnny Cake or under the Johnny Cake? Okay.
So can we, so can we better identify that? I mean, I have no problem giving,
The
providing.
Johnny
funds.
Cake also asks, there's a subsidy for the Johnny Cake also.
So can we find out if this is the correct terminology or if we need to move it? Just increase the Johnny Cake to accommodate
I don't
that?
know, they must, they,
Is it-
Do they have two different 501 designations?
They have two different, yeah.
All right, so the name I think Sarah mentioned is different than the Living Supplies Closet, so I think we just need to fix that.
what was the name?
Health and Hygiene Supply Closet.
That's the actual name? It's not the Living Supply Closet?
On the application, it says Health and Hygiene. I can change it on the budget book.
Okay, it should, yeah, we should reflect if it's Health and Hygiene Supply Closet. And that is, I'm assuming that's the same, right? Yeah. So so anyway, they asked for two, it's, I don't know. I mean, there must be a reason if they have two 50C3 numbers, they must be asking under two different.
Yeah, and that's in the budget, right? Okay, all right, so we're just correcting the name, that's all.
So they asked for 2,000 and you budgeted 2,000.
They received 2,000 last year.
I would think in an organization like that, it'd be a great place for people to donate clothes to instead of bringing it into somewhere else. So I think just making people aware that they exist would be more than anything we could do as far as the subsidy goes. I mean, obviously, I'd like to give them the $2,000, but I don't think we have to go crazy in this one. But I think you've already brought some attention to it, Alex, and that's good. And hopefully people who don't need their suits anymore, donate it to the Living Supply Closet.
It's already, the money's already in there, just correcting the name, that's all.
That's,
Okay.
yeah, money's there, it's just
All right.
correct the name.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah.
So are we sticking on that one for a second? Can we move on to another one?
No, you can move on. I was just gonna, the only thing I was, if you go down, you can see one of the bigger, Warm asked for 50. And I kept them at 30, entirely up to you guys. There's nothing.
The other big one I noticed is ambulance corps. Did they have a particular program in mind or project that we decided not to go with?
So I've talked to them, so I kind of have a little different, I mean, I guess so their goal, their ultimate goal is from the town to hopefully get to around a $300,000 or $400,000 mark of a subsidy. Obviously, we went up to 200,000 by way of Dylan a couple of years ago. They asked for an increase to 2.25 last year. We kept them at 200. They asked for 250 this year. I kept them at 200. Oh, 300 this year, okay. I kept them at 200. They're doing a new program, but it's grant funded. What'd you say? Tell me what it is. Mobile Integrated Health, which means that they go and treat, go into residence home. You can talk in a microphone, you know. I mean, rather than,
Hi, so the program that they're looking at, that they're actually operating now under grant funding is called Mobile Integrated Health. It's a fantastic program. It's incredibly impactful to the community. Basically, what they do is they have a paramedic who's dedicated to go into residents' homes and help them with things to keep them out of the hospital. Things like managing their medications, doing some, minor wound care, things like that, helping to counsel them on, better ways to manage their own health in their home with the goal of decreasing repeat hospital admissions, emergency department admissions, because as we know, all of our healthcare systems are taxed to the max. So this program is being pushed out into the community mostly as a pilot program in Rhode Island right now. The challenge that they're facing is that they are not allowed to bill for these services currently. So any money that they put into these services, they're not recouping any of that money. They are working actively in legislation, particularly Charlestown, Narragansett, South Kingstown. They're pushing some legislation to try and get it so that they can bill Medicare and Medicaid for these services, but currently they are not. The caveat to this program right now is it is grant funded. So if that grant funding gets pulled tomorrow and they have no money to run it, then if we start to fund it now and then we don't continue to fund it, we'll look like the bad guys. But it is 100% grant funded currently. They are doing a great job of it from what I'm told. But that's the purpose of that programming.
And you know where the next question is, how much does this program cost?
I don't have access to their budget, so I don't know what they're expending on their program currently. I can tell you that if they're running one paramedic, 40 to 56 hours a week, I don't know what they're scheduling. Essentially, their cost would be the salary for that paramedic, a vehicle for that paramedic, some limited equipment for that paramedic to provide services in the homes. So if I had to ballpark, and I would be completely ballparking, I would guess probably about $80,000 a year all in. But again, that's if that program continues. They do have a protocol in the State Department of Health to continue that program. They are having success in a lot of communities. It is not a mandated or required program right now, so it is a supplemental program that services are providing into the communities. So it's kind of based on how the success they have now will determine if it becomes the standard across our state.
Can we get a little more concrete information on that as far as costs? Is that
Yeah.
possible?
Yeah, what you
So we
have to
can
do-
have an idea of what we're.
Yeah, we could put an inquiry into Chief Jones and see if she could give us the actual numbers of the cost of the program.
Yeah, that would be great. That would help.
Yep.
So just to-
even their suggested increase is outside of the realm of that new program, even though they're providing that program. It's a program is funded through grant. I mean, in talking to them as a result of the, the subsidy, to me, to go to a 250 or something, it's still a deal for the town. If we pay
Yeah.
$250,000 for ambulance services to the town, it's not a bad.
I want to add something too for the Westerly Ambulance Corps is, they also just had 2 people become certified flight paramedics. So,
Light, is that what you said?
yeah, flight paramedic.
Light.
Yeah.
Okay. I have the fan still behind my head. That's why I lean forward because I
I mean,
hear better up
So
here.
if we're, if we're.
I mean, for
gonna-
tonight, I'd make a motion to increase them to 250 tonight and then we can adjust it if we need to adjust it.
I'll second it and I'll say it's the only subsidy on this entire sheet I have an interest in increasing, to be honest with you. It's the one and only one. So I'm going to second.
Motion made and seconded by Councilor LaPetra. Discussion. This,
I would still like to get some more information on it as to what it is.
I can get that number.
That we're
I mean,
spending.
I can.
I don't, yeah.
I can certainly email you the number, but I would say that I would still support a 250 even without that number, because I think that service is above and beyond, because they do have, when's the grant funding run out, you know?
Yeah, because
And I appreciate that. It's just more for, people that, the taxpayers that are going to be funding this. I'm sure they'd like to get an idea of what it's truly going to cost.
and if we want to adjust it again next week, we can.
Yeah,
But
that's
this will-
fine.
This will at least increase
Yeah.
it.
Okay, thank you.
Can I ask to go back for a quick second to 506940? It says the Village Common of Rhode Island. That's a brand new item. Is it actually that name or is it the Westerly Village?
Are we gonna
We've
call
solved the motion.
this vote to,
Yeah,
we could go back to that after this. We get a motion.
So we need to vote.
Any other discussion on the ambulance corps raising it 50,000? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Raise 50,000. I'm sorry, Councilor Shalaba, which one?
I'm sorry. So going back under subsidy community service 506940, it says the Village Common of Rhode Island, and it's a new request. Is that really the name or is it the Westerly Village? I've never heard of the Village
It
Common.
is the Village Common of Rhode Island. It is the Village Common of Rhode Island, which is the Westerly Village.
So it is the West,
Yeah, it
okay,
is, yeah. Mhm,
okay,
yeah.
thank you. All right.
And their ask was 2. They got 15 last year. I kept them at 15.
I'm gonna make a motion to give them their 2,000.
Motion
Discussion?
seconded to raise the Village Common of Rhode Island 506940 to 500. By 500, now it's 2,000 total.
Alec. Can I ask what they do?
They go door to door with our senior citizens. So they also, okay, they, will call them a group of people. All senior citizens, peers, say you need to go to the doctor and you need a ride. You call, they help you with rides. They help you with everything. They get together, have community. I've called them to ask them to check on people at the housing authority. They go to all of the events. They are
That's fine.
fantastic people.
That's fine. That's fine.
Thank
I'm
you.
okay with that. Yep.
Motion has been made, seconded by Councilor Yellow. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes.
I would like to go to 506922, the Wildlife Rehabilitators of Rhode Island. They were asking for 5568. Is there explanation on that at all?
Sarah would have to pull the
Because
application.
I'm an animal person, so
Yeah.
I know that I know it was a rough winter for a lot of
We have
animals.
funded them. I just level funded them because it's,
Yeah.
I'm not, it's certainly up to you. Sarah can pull it. Can you pull that, Sarah, and to see what the ask is?
It's
506,
506, it's back up, the
506.
wildlife one.
They're located though in Wakefield, right? Or up that way, past Narragansett?
Sarah can look. Do you have it?
I have, the reason for the increase is for increase in vet services and Westerly Wildlife.
And what's the address they're located at? It used to be Bars Lane, but I don't know if it's still. Yeah, down there. Yeah, Owls, yeah.
didn't they retire from that or?
I don't know. You're right. Maybe they did, but I don't know.
I thought I saw something where they may have retired, but so I'm curious.
They used to bring him to another place. If they couldn't care for him, it went.
If they're not in Westerly, can we fund them?
Yeah, no, there is. Yeah.
That'll
They
bring us
provide
to-
services, right?
That'll bring us to the Flock Theater at some point, I believe.
Okay, I just, yeah, I would like to, we know what vets cost and for the animals, and I'm almost betting it was because of the rough winter that we had this year that their increase, because there was a lot of dead birds and ducks
I
and,
don't know why they would say
Swan.
5568. I mean, would they?
yeah, I'm just curious as to
So do you see what they have for an address?
cover in a bill or something.
The address is, I hope I'm saying this right, Sanderstown, Rhode Island.
Saunderstown. Yeah. That's my, what's this now?
Yeah, because if you have an animal like that, they usually tell you to go take it there.
We used to bring them owls if they got hit. We used to put
Yeah.
them in the back of a police car and bring them up to these different facilities.
Yeah, so I would like to see them get what they're asking for. I just, obviously it's not a lot of money for people that are going out and saving our wildlife and I
Well,
mean,
take
with
it
all
up.
the,
It's in the town manager's budget, it's in your budget, isn't it? Wildlife?
It's in the subsidies. That's
Yeah.
what yeah, but it's in there at 3,000. I just level funded from last year. They're asking 5568.
Oh, sorry, I missed that.
5568. I mean,
I
you
mean,
want to round it to
like-
5 or do you want to go to, I mean, I don't.
Actually, I'd like to make a motion to move it to 6 and make it a,
Discussion.
I wouldn't give them.
Is there a motion?
I don't know.
I made the motion.
Motion made,
Anybody second?
Council B.
5?
Let
me know.
I wouldn't go over their ask.
Yeah, they asked for 5,000, then where'd it go? Yeah, 568.
Could I jump in with discussion now? We gotta wait for a second. I'd like-
I'll second a 5,000.
Seconded by.
5.
All right, let's
Okay, go 5.
Discussion
discussion.
for 5,000.
We do this every year, guys. We get carried away. All these subsidies, they're all great causes. Every single one of them deserve one except for maybe one, but every single one of them is a great cause. Let's, we could sit here and give them all double what they asked for, exactly what they asked for, but let's remember, we took care of the one that actually saves lives, and a few of them do, but we took care of the ambulance call that saves lives. It's not do what we usually do, and everybody has their own thing that they particularly love, and next thing you know, we got 7 different subsidies getting doubled, and we lose the sight of the bigger picture, which is to keep, especially in this year, to not give too much of a tax increase. I love animals too. I love wild animals. Are they as important as the ambulance corps? No. Are they important? Are they great? Yes, but let's leave it alone. Let's go with what we have. Almost everybody got basically what they asked for, and I say we just move on from this unless somebody has one. All right, Mary has one more, but, and Rose, I love you, but I'm gonna say no on this, just in
That's
principle.
okay.
Okay.
That's okay.
Any other discussion on this line item? I tend to agree with that sentiment, that you could go up on all of these, and there's so many calling us on every single one of these, so.
I'm curious, Mr. President, do we know how often they're involved with Westerly? Does it, the application?
know
give
how often.
information?
Does the application indicate to the Sarah, if you take a look at,
How many
I
hours?
don't know how often they are, but I know we used to deal with them quite a bit. When I was on the PD side, this group. So I don't know what it is with owls and Westerly or birds. We used to deal with them all the time, but I don't. Yeah.
I could tell you, I've called them a few times on finding wounded animals, and they've told me each time I had to bring it to them.
Did you bring it up in Saunderstown or did you? Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I mean, it's a half hour away. It's not like that.
It's a day trip away, Chris.
No, it looks like Sarah found it.
I do. I do have the amount.
Any other discussion on raising
Chris, Sarah.
5,000?
Sarah has information.
It says in 2025, the clinic provided care to 174 animals in Westerly.
Thank you, Sarah.
Any other discussion?
We got to take a vote though, don't we?
All in favor of the motion to raise to 5,000?
Aye.
No.
Aye.
Aye.
Chair
The
votes
fact that I
no.
love animals, but I'm gonna start drawing my line in the sand here.
Mike, did you vote?
Yes, I was an aye.
Okay, it went 5-2.
Um,
To approve to 5,000.
I would
That's the only one I'll ask for.
I would actually, because this is important, and I've been noticing this recently working with the high school. Meals on Wheels needs to go back to $1,000 that they're asking for. We're only budgeting them $500. The food insecurity in this town is unbelievable with what I'm
It
seeing.
is 1,000.
500 was the previous year.
26 is 500.
Where
I'm
else?
saying, oh, okay, never mind then. Thank you.
Are you good with the 1,000? Yeah, okay.
All right, should we move on, Dylan?
I was just gonna say there is, they mentioned that there was one other person who got their application, and if we just assess that and never touch this again for the whole rest of this process.
Which one is
we
that?
just, I don't know, someone else handed in an application for.
Okay, I'm sorry. I know I printed to put in my book to bring it up, but it was,
I just figured maybe we could never touch
it was
this
some
again.
music and I
If we-
want
if
to
we
say
get
it
past
was,
But
it's a music program and it was, I think it was 5,000.
we can come back. We don't have to.
I do have it.
Sarah has it, if you want to listen quick.
It's called Up Next Music Festival in Westerly. It's supposed to be in September of 26. Oops, sorry.
Sarah's kind of quiet. She's got to learn to yell on the mic.
It's called Up Next Music Festival in Westerly, or in September 2026 in Westerly, and they're asking for $5,000.
Oh, they did it last year in September. It's a big event in the park. right?
This is for the children's music programming?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
May I discuss this real quick? This is a Westerly event, born in Westerly, in Westerly. Then what I suggest we do is the $5,000 that we give to a New London-based organization, the Flock Theater, why don't we take that and bring it home, bring it to our people in Westerly in a hometown-based event and reallocate the Flock Theater's 5,000 to the Up Next Festival, is that what we called it?
If that's the
my-
motion, if that's the
my
motion, I'll second it.
Yes.
Okay.
The Flock, just, and again, I know you know, and I'm not, they perform a series, it's in the park.
It's in
That's
the
a
park.
Shakespeare in the
But
park,
they
yeah.
perform a whole summer play series in the park for the Wesley
For
residents.
Wesley.
Flock. It has nothing to do with it. They do it to put their show here in the park. That's what they ask for money for.
You want to write him a $5,000 check? I'm not gonna.
I'd rather do, one line item at a time rather than
Right.
double and triple. So is your motion to,
My motion is to
eliminate-
reallocate the 5,000 from the Flock Theater to the Up Next Festival. That's what I'd like to do.
could you word it differently? So it's just zeroing one out?
Okay, I
and
would
then
like
add-
to
add
take
later?
5,000 away from the Flock Theater and give it to the Up Next Festival.
That's the same motion. So it's been seconded. All in favor of that motion?
You want a poll vote? Or I'm feeling a poll vote, yeah. Okay.
Right, poll vote.
Rose?
Is it,
No,
wait
stop.
a minute, is it to give 5,000 to? the
It's, let
music-
me word it correctly. It's
Next-
take 5,000 away from a foreign-based entity and bring it to a hometown-based entity. That's how I want to word it.
They're two separate motions.
So is the first one to give Next Up Music?
No, it's
Fest-
one motion, one motion. I want to reallocate 5K. Why do I gotta make that motion should be legal? That seems like it's clear to me. Yes, yes. Yes,
As opposed to funding both, that's what.
yeah,
I
as
would
opposed to
rec-
funding both, yeah.
That's what I would recommend.
Well, then, I mean, then you could vote no on my motion and
That-
come up
That's the
with,
choice, right?
okay.
So the motion is made to zero out Flock and to give 5,000 to Up Next. And seconded by Councilor Aiello. Poll vote, Councilor Aiello?
Aye. Aye.
No.
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 Yes,
Abstain.
I'm gonna vote no. The chair votes no. Is there
Motion
another
to-
motion?
Motion to accept the Up Next application for $5,000.
Second.
Motion made, seconded by Councilor Healy.
To accept the application from Up Next and fund it at $5,000.
Councilor Niemeyer and Councilor Healy second.
So that,
Discussion,
that's an added line? Okay.
discussion?
discussion.
If this is the absolute last subsidy that we increase, I'll go for it. Yes, okay.
Any other discussion?
I'm sorry, up next.
Next up,
Next up, let me say it correctly. Next up.
funding at 5,000. No further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm not opposed. I.
Passes 7-0. Moving on to the next page.
So it's still, yeah, well, keep in mind, are you fine with so just to explain, so everyone's clear, the library one, I know it's usually a discussion, the first one is a match, right? And the second one is they get the same aid also. They both reflect what they get in aid.
So the
Correct.
library is increased slightly.
That's no control of ours. We get it back from the state. That's a wash.
Okay,
It is. The other 415, there's no increase. They also get funding to match that, but they didn't ask for any increase on that.
okay.
Okay. Is there any others you have, just to go through them? I want to make sure you see them all. The subsidy public events, you got the Pops, the band.
Pee Wee football, Westerly Little League.
Yeah.
There's some
Yeah.
big,
Um,
great programs for kids in here.
it's all our sports stuff for the kids, which we support every year. The public events of the different parades, concerts.
To that this year, that
What's that?
funding, because the parades got canceled.
The parade gets canceled, so they have the funding. So they called me to say, hey, what do you want us, we give them, was it 10,000? 5,000. So they had, because it's canceled last minute, they're
Right.
paying fees to
Okay.
some of these people coming. And they said, we have some left over, and I, just hang on to it.
Okay.
Use it next year. So
Okay.
I didn't have them return.
Perfect. That's
So,
all.
I have a,
yeah, no, it's not, yeah.
because I have a question. I don't understand how this works.
So just to be clear, I just want to explain the last ones on that big page. So the subsidies for economic development. You have the USPS parking lot lease, and I just want to go through that one so you at least understand, because I have to bring the lease back to council if I can finally get it. And then you have the Canal Street one, which we pay 50/50, the United Chamber of Commerce and the Watch Fire, just so we're clear, because I know that becomes a question people ask. That's for bathrooms. That's for public bathrooms down in Watch Hill. But the US parking lot lease, that's the parking lot between the post office and Michelli's. And I bring that up because it's funded at this, I bumped it up, if you notice, to 10,000. Because I got a call from a company looking to renew the lease for the federal government. And the lease was going up to like 35,000. And I said, we pay $6,000 now. Why are we going to 35,000? Well, it's market rate. It's just that. So I've been going back and forth with the person to the point where I pulled the deed on the property to find out. I said, first of all, we maintain it. We paved it, we plow it, we maintain it, we put lights on it. And I explained all this to him, and the guy said, I understand. He said, okay, so we brought it back. It was 19,000. He won 19,000 a year. So I pulled the deed on it and I said, and I researched it. I went through the deed with Bill Conley, and the deed is very specific. If that property, that parcel, is not used for public parking, it used to be where they housed the mail trucks, it automatically reverts to the library, because that all used, the library had all that property. So I'm waiting for a response. I called him back. I said, well, technically, I mean, if I'm reading this lease right, we shouldn't be paying you $6,600 because it's a public parking lot. Granted, I mean, it's still theirs. They do have some control. They could, so I'm hoping to get it down lower, but I don't know what I'm gonna get it down.
So they
to.
just own the plot? They just own the plot.
The building site.
They own the building, and then they own the parking lot next door.
They own the post office.
They own the US Post Office. This is US Post Office. I'm dealing with.
Okay.
It's a realtor company for the post office. Huh? No, if they don't use it for public parking,
It'll
it
go to the library.
the deed reverts to the library.
Do you
park-
think if we don't give them what they're asking for, they will pull out of it? Not that I don't think that the library would work with us.
The library would keep it a lot, I'm assuming.
Right.
That's my theory. Okay, give it to the library because it will still remain a public parking lot. We won't pay, I mean, we can maintain it, but.
Right.
So I'm trying to get it to reasonable, so whatever, that lease will come back before the council. That's why that's up to 10,000. In the event it does have to go up a little bit.
I have a question on one of these, and I don't want to change anything. I just want to be clear. On 505-800 State Library Aid, the 456, et cetera. And then we have the Westerly Public Library and Park, the 415. What's the difference here?
The difference.
I forget.
So so it does, it gets confusing. The 456, 644 is what the state gives the library for their aid. So it's a pass-through. We budget it, we cut it to the library, the state gives us back a check for 456, 644. It's a wash. It's a break even. It really
Okay,
doesn't cost us anything.
So they're one and the same, but they
Same
just
thing.
have to be on a different line
four-
item.
Yeah, the 415 one is a subsidy for the library that they get additional funding from the state that matches that also. But that does really cost us 415. The first one
Okay.
does not. We get the money back. The second one does cost us 415.
Okay,
But
okay.
that's their money. They get a match for that. So that's the reason for that.
All right. Okay, thank you.
Is everyone okay on those then?
Yes.
57.5. So it looks like the subsidy increase was up 57,500 total subsidy increases. Okay,
Are we going back to the thick book?
the big book.
Okay.
Big book. So if you go, again, the page 24 is just what we went through. Keep in mind, 23, 24 subsidies, economic development, I just spoke about. And now we're on to, recreation. Everyone follow me? Page 25, big book. So same thing, recreation. Now, what I did in recreation, if you look, there is a 500,886 recreation manager. If you notice, it's 48,077. It matches the program person above it, and it's 100% increase. That's something I'm proposing. I cut money out of the seasonal wage line because now we have a beach operations in the summer. We hire someone to be the beach manager. And then we hire someone to be the ice on seasonal wages and the ice rink manager. So I'm proposing it to be a full position at 48,077. And I'm cutting funding out of the seasonal wages. So as opposed to 2 part-time positions, it'll be 1 full-time position. Huh? Yeah, they'll do both. They'll do both the beach manager in the summer and the recreation facility down here in the winter months.
So we're combining 2 positions and it's probably more cost effective, I would imagine.
Definitely more cost effective.
Okay.
Right?
Okay,
The
thank you.
problem we run into when some of these seasonal positions is when they work seasonal, they can collect in the off months. And the college kids aren't doing that because they're going back to college, but others do. But then we're paying anyway. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. So,
No, that makes sense.
yeah.
Sean, if I may, I thought Julia Beasley who oversaw the beach, and I wasn't sure, it was somebody in that department oversaw the ice rink. They actually outsourced that a little bit to?
No, it's a seasonal employee no, she oversees it.
Yeah, she oversees it all. Okay.
But yeah, there's a seasonal manager we bring in for the ice rink. There's a seasonal manager that brings in the beach.
Okay, I don't know.
Runs all that
Notice
stuff.
that. That's
Yeah.
good. All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Sean, since we just passed about the bicycles, will that be here under rec? Do we need to increase anything as far as equipment or
For where?
bicycles, the bike ordinance?
Bicycle.
Oh, no, I didn't. You guys, the way I'm getting that money, you added money last year at the very end, I believe Alex did, in recreation
Maintenance?
programming or something.
Yeah, no,
Recreation programming went up. That's where I'm pulling it out of, and I left it the same.
Okay,
see.
thank
So,
you.
actually I went down 5,000 in it. And I wanted to see if there was it was something about the camps. You remember, Melissa?
Yeah, you had said that we got a 60K grant.
So 501,036 is going up, and I'm gonna, why, if you notice it's at 33, because we got a, who
60
was it from? The grant.
from United Way.
United Way grant, and you're not, we're funding more of it now. And this is, now keep in mind, our seasonal camps, they sell out. We have to turn people away because we only take so many people for the summer camps, which is a shame. It's too bad. We can't expand it to allow anyone that wants to, but there is kids turned away, believe it or not.
So last year, I think, like you said, it would be page 26, recreation programming. And that was the one, I thought I raised it, or we raised it to 50,000.
I did.
Okay. So in our meetings and their meetings at the board,
Mhm.
the chair and the members are asking for 100,000. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah. Give you a reason?
Because they have places to spend it. They're wanting to do the Tower Street courts. Now they're gonna, take that. There were a couple of other ones that they were ticking and tying away at. I know that they were so they're finishing the lights over at Similori, right? On
The
softball
lights are
field.
done at Similar. We're
Those
in
are
the
done.
process of
There
doing
was
lights at
something
Rotary
new.
Park,
Yep.
but we're hoping to do that through a grant funding. I'm getting
Right.
pricing back now. I don't, again.
I know it's a big number and I wasn't.
I didn't get anything from that. We agreed last Monday night to redo the basketball courts at Similori, which
Yes.
was 200 and something thousand. I didn't get anything. I mean, we approved on the capital side, there might be some things we haven't gotten to that they've asked for that
Okay.
aren't in this general budget. Aren't in the general budget, because anything big like that, you would put in the capital side, which we're not on yet.
Okay.
So if you want to wait till we get to that to see if we.
They had just mentioned the recreation programming line, so I wanted to bring it to the forefront. If that's the particular line, and we can always come back to this if we want to talk to the. we
I can
totally
check
reach
on it.
out to the board.
I know I increased the camp because of the funding on those, which
I'm fine not doing anything tonight and getting their opinion. Is there something else that we need to add in on this side, or would it be the capital side?
no, wait till we get to the capital side.
Okay.
It's easier. The capital can roll, keep in mind, even if you would have, if the council decided to add additional funding outside what is here to projects like you're referring to, you would want those on the capital side anyway.
Thank you, Sean.
So I'm going down to celebration of public events. Again, pretty self-explanatory. It is what it is. You know, the honor flight, we bumped up to 1,000, right? That it was 500 last year, if you remember, and it came out of the contingency side of the town manager. Somebody asked me, I forget who, you, to bump it up. So I bumped it up to 1,000 for the honor flight this year. Keeper of the Flags, that's our dear friend Ken Burton. Neighbor Day Committee, up to 1,500 because it's about what they used last year. And then obviously the memorials and signs and markers. Memorial, just keep in mind, that's at 4, but we support all the flags and everything else for that, so. Conservation Board, Town Forest, again, it's the same, you know.
Sean,
Yep.
Neighbor Day, they didn't use anything last year, right?
They actually did.
They did or did
Yep.
not?
They use, it's obviously not, I don't know why it's not showing there. Sarah will have to look, but they gave they did the Neighbor Day, who did it?
The multicultural.
That's who used the money. The
So,
multicultural did that day.
so,
Oh, that was awarded after February.
so why are we increasing that fund?
Why are we what?
We're increasing that 1,500?
Increasing that for activities. They had asked to bump it up because there wasn't enough money. They did a scholarship thing last year. Somebody.
It's a bigger event this year. They're going to have
Yeah.
tables throughout the
Right.
park.
I mean, if they can
Should
bring
be
it back
funded through
as,
the Neighbor Day though, or is that?
it's a
I'm
Neighbor
kinda
Day
confused,
event.
because multicultural is multicultural and Neighbor Day is Neighbor Day. Why?
They're-
What happened to the Neighbor Day people to do this
That kind of,
thing and
as you
then?
know, that kind of,
They just.
it went away. It lost kind of interest, but the multicultural group they went before you guys last year and said, hey, we'll take over the Neighbor Day.
So should we do something about this Neighbor Day committee if it's not?
We'll have to do that.
Up and
by-
running?
we'll have to do that by ordinance.
Yeah.
That was what I was referring to the other night, is that we can modify the Neighbor Day ordinance and have people apply to that. Because right now, if you apply, you're on it permanently. I mean, it should be like 5 years, just like every other committee we have just about. But there's some tweaks we can do that. That's by ordinance. Last year we approved it 1 year for the multicultural to do Neighbor Day.
It's-
But
Bro,
nobody else,
Just
hang on.
relax, all right?
You sit on a council.
Hang on. Hang on.
Please, so it's in the charter, right?
I'd like to get out of here in at least an
I'm
hour.
Speaking.
Okay, you got 4 liberal
I'm
Democrats.
speaking. You're doing.
Thank your stars, it's
Put
only
your studs
1,500.
to me.
Thank your
Stop.
stars, it's only 1,500.
Stop.
Don't make it 15
Thank
grand.
you.
Keep-
Stop. Anyway, I have questions and I have a right to ask them. Okay, I don't work for you.
Okay,
Excuse me, Neighbor Day, just getting back to it, I just want to be clear, it's in the charter, correct?
no, it's not.
It's
No,
It's in ordinance.
By ordinance, but nobody else was really
Committee.
stepping up for it. So the multicultural offered to do something last year. We authorized it for a year, but nobody else was really stepping
Okay,
up.
so we can deal with this at another time. That was just my question and I have a right to ask it,
Doing
Dylan.
activities is, we can
Bro.
clean up the ordinance.
Rose, would it be something that you'd be willing to change the name of this line item to, like we did with the living closet? Would you prefer to have this line item be called Multicultural Neighbor Day, or is that, I don't know.
I don't think we can do that anyway because it's in an
The day is
ordinance.
established. The day
It's
is
already
officially
established. Right,
Chris-
so
Chris
leave it
probably
as
on
it
the
is for
council
now.
is
But we
established.
can change a line item name that.
No, you know what though? Just leave it the way it is because it's clear and then we'll worry about it later.
They're
It's not a
using
big
it for
deal.
Neighbor Day, so why don't we leave it here?
I think we should just leave it the way it is right now. Thank you, though.
It's all planned. They've got it all figured out.
That's fine.
And I
That's
think
fine.
Council Aiello is correct. You guys allowed it 1 year, so I think they'd have to come. If they want to do Neighbor Day again, just come back and ask. I mean. there's not-
Nobody else is stepping up to do it, so I'm not losing sleep over it. I'm sure they're gonna do something nice. And it just,
It's
we
all
can just
planned.
leave it the way
It
it
was
is.
just a question. It
Yep.
was just a question.
The funds are for the Neighbor
Okay.
Day activities.
Let's get on to the fun stuff. Let's talk about planning. I'm so excited about this.
All right, so, I'm on celebration of, okay, town forest rights of way maintenance. So I did, well, I put something in the capital side, but there is maintenance on the right of ways in there. It's funded at 10,000. Again, there's something on the restricted side, which you'll also see, because I'm trying to build up a balance. As I explained, one of those right of ways, Atlantic Avenue, we have to build a walkway up over Dune because we can't go through it. So we're trying to establish this funding for these to maintain all these rights of ways properly. So, town planning building. So that's this budget, let's go through again. It's 2.5% increase. If you look, there's an office assistant at a 2% increase because that's an 808 union position.
So this has a new position in it?
This has a new position. I'm just trying to.
Environmental
oh, right here,
coordinator?
gotcha. Environmental coordinator of town planning. It's another level of planning, just we have all these changes in the ordinances as far as housing go. We have a fellowship that's working here, Diego, whose fellowship runs out in October 26th, this October. And he's the one working on all these sites for these housing, for the additional housing projects, the town properties with housing projects. I think it's beneficial to us. It's short money in the end. I mean, we have to try to reach some of these goals we're up against. I think it's very beneficial, and we're budgeting at 60,000.
Are you gonna hire a planner soon, or?
I can get into that now. I just interviewed we interviewed someone yesterday on a second interview. I brought Matt O'Neill came in from the planning board to sit in on the interview. We don't know if that's the direction we're going. There's another option. We could, bring in a contracted firm to do planning, right?
No, no.
No, I'm not saying that's not anybody's desire, but at least and I'm not saying it's not somebody you're bringing someone 4 hours a week to review stuff. And so whatever. I mean, believe me, you probably count there's 10 communities around Island using this now, just because you can't find planners, right?
Oh, we got Weston and Sampson here in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So,
That's the one that proposed. Yeah,
I work in the contracted planning world, and it is not my, it wouldn't be my pick.
So it
You
costs a lot of
want a planner. I mean, you ultimately
Yes.
want a planner. There's no doubt about it.
In-house.
Yeah.
I just want to cite this, so this additional position, we can usher our fellow into this.
If he chooses to, I don't
Okay.
know that. I mean, I think, in all honesty, I think his desire, I think he likes the area. He's not, I think he's done very well in it. I mean, he's got the credentials of a planner,
Okay.
but not the experience yet of a planner.
Every time I've worked with him, he's come here, he has been absolutely fantastic. So I am in full support of Diego. Okay, let's do it.
And then also, I don't have the number. I mean, I do have the number, but I was supposed to type something up, and I'm thinking of it now, I also, another thing to consider for the council, consider if you want to consider it, is, so you look at the grant administrator, that be our dear friend Dale. The grants that we're managing alone, just the managing of the grants, require a full-time personnel. And we may want to, as a council, or us, all of us, give consideration to bringing an assistant into the grant side. I mean, Dale has brought millions and millions of dollars to the town in grant funding. He's a one-man shop. He can only do so much. The school actually, they ask him many times, can he help on different things? He always does if he can. A lot of the subsidies that you've supplied, sometimes you need recommendation letters from the town, and everything else as these grants go forward is these things that have asked for his services too. He does a wonderful job. I would tout him to anybody. I just think it's something we should probably consider in the $60,000 range, probably to get.
Councilman Niemeyer had a good opinion on all
Yeah,
that. Did you wanna?
Get an assistant in there.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a good idea. If he could help with getting even one mid-sized application, that would pay for him for 5 years. What kind of range are you thinking?
60,000, which means with benefits, you're at 80, right? I mean,
Okay.
that's what it boils down to. With the whole benefit package, you're at 80. I mean, his position and the stuff he brings to the town more than pays for his salary for multiple amounts.
I mean, thinking about Dale, he does a great job, but running out of a $20 to $30 million compliance operation out of a one-man office is
One-man office.
insane.
The reporting alone, as you would know, is a job in itself.
It is. That's all my boss does. And then I do all the applications as well as compliance work. The idea of one man doing that for an entire municipality is a little frightening. I'm gonna be honest, because we just had that single federal audit that came back clean. If we ever had a spot on that, it would be a huge risk in the future. And yeah, no, I'd make a motion to that effect. Do you want to provide more clear numbers, then we can do it in the future?
Let me get you clear numbers for next time.
Okay,
I'll give you the clear numbers breakdown of taxes and all that stuff. So.
okay.
Do you want to put a placeholder in it? Assistant grant writer?
So moved on a placeholder.
Second.
Motion made and seconded by Council Healy for assistant grant writer with the funds to be decided. I mean, the amount to be decided. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Yeah, Mike was saying how it's going to be paid back in spades if we do this, so. Yeah. Little bit of pressure.
Okay, any other questions on the planning zoning? I mean, we're down to restricted programs next, and you guys tell me how far you want to how far you want to go. You're at eight. I mean, I'm good, but I know if anybody have any commitments, Dylan, you going back for taxes, Billy, we gotta get
We'll
home.
save the schools till the next meeting.
But most likely he's gonna come in the beginning of the next meeting, so you have to, the school one, you could be prepared the next meeting, we would probably do that first. And then if you had questions of the superintendent,
Yes.
you certainly probably be the best way to go.
I jump in on that. So you're telling me the superintendent is gonna come give us his budget pitch to the council?
No,
I
he's
just
gonna be
asked him,
available for questions.
yeah, I asked him if he wanted to come in case there's questions or he wanted to, yeah. I
Is
mean,
that common practice? I don't remember that ever happening before. Is that so?
I feel it's been common only because during the discussion, there's all these,
Well, his job is to get as much money as humanly possible out of us. I mean, we know where he's coming from. I mean, do we really want to entertain that? I mean, we're inviting us a little bit of a circus, not too much.
yeah,
but
I don't want a presentation, my opinion. I think he should be in the room for questions. If there's some kind of doubt on what the capital expenditures are for, what his fund balance is what we really wanted.
Well, is he gonna even tell us the truth?
Yeah, well, he,
Yeah, I mean, we know his job is to get as much as he can, and that's his job, and I respect that. I mean, that's what he's
He's
that's
also
what he's hired to do.
professional, though.
All right.
That would tell us.
yeah, we
Yeah.
have,
He's not gonna fudge anything. It's all in black and white. There's not much to fudge.
Well, I would disagree with that,
if the
but
council has no questions of the superintendent, then that's fine, but I felt he should be here in the event there were questions, because the town manager is representing all these departments. He's the superintendent of the town of Westerly, so that level, I'm not asking for the school board, I'm not asking for, presentation.
all right, I'll put my objection on the record. I don't think it's gonna end well, but
Okay,
I mean, I'll be kind to him, but I know what his desires and his goals are and what he's paid to do. And what he's paid to do is to extract as much out of the budget as possible. And that's
All right,
part of the superintendent's job.
President,
yes.
can we just get through
Okay.
restricted and town debt service and then call it a night?
yeah, that's fine. That
All
works
right.
for everyone.
Good.
Yeah?
Thank
Okay.
you.
So so just so I'm clear, so everyone understands what restricted lines are. We fund restricted lines. They roll from year to year. So there's a restricted line. I'm going to ask you to open a big page again, because it shows you balances carried forward. So it rolls from year to year, and I'm just going to clarify because I know this, but Sarah, it's 3 years? 3 years. If it's not funded or used in 3 years, it has to be funded or used. You only have to put $1 or take $1 out. It rolls to fund balance. If it's funded or used within a 3-year period, it rolls from year to year. And this is how we build some balances. So I'm gonna ask you to go
Everything was
to.
done. It's the big sheet after 44 in the small book. Is that the
Go to
one?
the, go to the small book, probably is the
correct.
updated one. Tell me where it is, Bill?
After page 44, I think.
Okay. So do a bigger one, because it shows you what's rolling, which is a heck of a lot easier to explain. So it says restricted programs. This is the same as the big book. Everyone have it? So if you look at the end, I just want to be clear so everyone understands this. If you look at the end, it shows you what's available, right? Available. Then as of current year, as of prior year available, 3/26/26, and then total. So just to lay it out for you, how it works. So if you have asphalt overlay and roads, right? 26 budget was 100, 27 budget, we're proposing 150, 50% increase. You currently have 99, 450.39 available in this year's budget. So it was budgeted for 100. We still have $99,450.39 left. Prior year, because it rolls, we have 229,492. You add those two together, that's 328. Everyone's following me? If you add the 150 this year, that brings you up to 478. We try to keep that restricted account around $500,000. All right, so we're trying to build it back to the 500,000 point. So everyone's following me. That's how we come up with those numbers. That shows you what current years left, prior years all combined, total of the two, and then if you add what's proposed for this year, that's what you really would have moving forward. So insurance claims, as much as we try to roll a balance, you can see we're not very good at it. We don't roll a balance in that because if we have litigation matters that we have to settle, that's what we use that for. And then asphalt overlay, this is a contingency account in case we have emergencies we have to do on roadways. This is not affiliated with the road bond list. We don't use this for the road bond list. The goal is to try to run a $500,000 balance, which this would bring us to 478. Should be more, should have a lot more than that, but again, it's just for, then same thing. All these are very low line striping roads, 10. If you go across, you look at the balance on that, you're rolling 50,000. If we add 10, it's 60,000. Keep in mind, this is the only line item we have for line striping. There's nothing in the regular budget for that. This is what we just maintain to pull out of. Reevaluation, that's what we have to maintain in that. We're at a full reevaluation year in 2027, means inspection in every house. Audit, same
What would
thing.
that total be, the reevaluation?
I don't.
With this, you're gonna have.
I want to say the full reeval is $250,000, over $250,000.
So this will be 450, right?
Mm-hmm. This would be 380, brings you to 450, right? So do you know that, Sarah, what that is, or no? Do we know what that, you would not, that's at your end.
I think Patty looked, I think it was around 500,000 for the full.
Oh, I'm off. Then it was 450 is the number I heard. It wasn't 250. 450 is the number for a total reeval.
Is it 450?
Yeah, that's what I was told the number. It was something, I thought 250 was.
So that would make sense. We'll have
Yeah.
the money for next year.
Then I'm on, then the audit, same thing with the audit that we do every year. We do an audit every year. Sidewalk replacement, again, if you follow that across, that brings you, that should be at $1 million. We're not close, we're not hitting that yet. That's the goal on that. The current year at 200,000 brings you to 802. We're getting close, but we use that money. If we have sidewalks in the plan that have to be replaced, that money gets used. Highway drainage. That's what you're looking at there. The proposal. EMA equipment. This is money. This is EMA side of things. This is the emergency equipment, barriers, cones, and stuff like that. We roll it. Stormwater quality. Same, it's all our stormwater stuff. Bulletproof vests is on the police department side. We have to replace them every 5 years. We have a 50-50 grant match. We only pay 50%. The grant pays the other 50%. We roll the balance over to cover the vests that have to replace every year. Surf beach is just the beach improvements. We have an account for the beach for any type of beach improvements we have to do. And it rolls 26,000. The goal is 25, brings you to 50. Again, it doesn't get you very far at the beach, but we keep a balance.
What's the difference between that one and the beach improvements down like 5, 6 more?
The surf beach, and you're talking about beach improvements and recreation?
Surf beach improvements and then beach improvements.
Beach improvements is just your infrastructure on the beach. The surf beach improvements should really be for dune restoration, walkways, stuff, parking lot restoration, any type of damage,
That
storm
would be
damage
surf.
stuff. Storm damage stuff. The regular beach improvements would be your facilities,
Okay.
buildings and so forth.
And we're bringing up the surf to 25,000.
Say it again?
We're bringing it, so, okay, the surf beach improvements are sitting at 20, is it 26?
Surf beach improvements, if it's funded this year, will be at 51,000.
51,
See it, 26 plus 25?
okay. Yeah.
What does CRF stand for?
We ask that every single time. And I just looked it up and told you.
Should it be SURF?
It's an abbreviation because it used to be grant funded. We got some money, match money on it, and it was SURF. Environmental Resiliency Fund or something like that.
Is-
Certified Environmental Resiliency Fund.
Is there an appetite to increase that at all?
The beach
No.
improvement one,
Yes.
I have it. There's another one I started. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to find it. There's one I started for the whole, the beach improvement one, I added money. If you notice, I added money to that
Yeah.
because of the whole, we're trying to obviously establish a balance of money in case we have major storm damages or to properties and buildings. So you could, I mean, you can, I mean, by all means.
I would just like to see us continue to build this up. I know we're losing our beach. It's just getting smaller and smaller, and I know that every single one sitting in this room loves our beaches. Not that they're a tourist area. We like the beaches, Dylan. So it was something that I wanted to bring up last year. I really honed in on rec last year, but this was something that I think I would like to just entertain.
Is this the one that Caswell presented to us?
Yeah, may I respond to this? I'm going to.
No, you don't need to respond to this. Be quiet, just
Listen,
like you tell me.
We keep saying that we're losing our beaches, and I know that's how Caswell presented it and so on, but that's a fundamental mistake. We're not losing anything. Our beaches are shifting. We have barrier beaches. We're not losing even a morsel of our beach. Our beaches are shifting inwards, and that's why we're acquiring all this property on the north end of Atlantic Avenue. That's the point behind this, not to put up carnival games and stuff, is to someday to recreate where our beach is. So we're doing what we have to do. We have spent millions of dollars to adjust.
How much do you want to add?
How about we get a little more, I mean, which one, the surf? I mean, we're not even really exactly sure on that, so. And the manager,
You wanted 50 a year or for 10
Well,
years?
how about we find out exactly what the surf is
You
and,
can Google it. I mean,
well,
I mean, we don't have any environmentalists up here. People just don't understand what a barrier beach is. I've tried to explain it so many times, and it just goes over the head of so many of our councils. It's
And we're
a
adding-
concept that just not,
the manager's
get it.
adding another 25,000 this year to
Yeah,
it.
there's no harm in if you wanted to add
Then he's
money to it. It doesn't
increasing-
it doesn't go, if you use it when you want to use it. I mean,
Increasing another 20 in beach improvements, adding another 25 to the surf beach improvements and another 10 to the surf recreation on top of what's already in there.
Alex, are you looking to increase just the beach improvements that's already increased by 900% or the
Well, the
surf
way
beach
that-
improvements?
the way that are we calling it surf, CERF? The way that was just described to me was specifically on things like dune repair. So my brain goes there because that's it. It has nothing to do with carnival.
How much
Although that
more?
was funny. But I would like to, I would like to give the full 50. I mean, we've had advocates come to this multiple councils and nothing's really been,
Make a motion.
I make a
We-
motion to lift it to 50.
I'll second that.
She
discussion.
made it seconded discussion?
Discussion. If we have to put a caveat in there that this is not for sand replenishment, it's just, you might as well throw money down the toilet. I mean,
It is actually.
See, that's a problem with electing people that don't have a clue, and it just,
Don't get insulting.
we should have a mayor at this point because
So let's take a poll vote.
it's terrible. It's terrible.
This is part of the discussion that when
Let
we
me
dredged the
just vet
pond,
that.
when
Let
we
me vet-
dredged the Winnapogue Pond and put the sand on the beach, that this would
This,
fall under that.
I'm not disagreeing with what anyone's saying, but I think We have a pavilion down there. We have property. We have beaches. We have to maintain what we have. We're not gonna let it go away. And if we do have a storm, we are responsible to put beach grass back up and build it. It's the nature of the beast. I'm not disagreeing with anything anyone's saying about things, washing, but we have a responsibility to our properties. We
So I
have to maintain
I
it.
made a motion for 50, Rose seconded. I would like to hear your,
50 total, right?
yes, I would like to hear what you think about that, town manager. No worries, no. It
So,
would be.
Hang on, let me just read this. So the surf one is the surf one, just so I get it correctly,
Yes,
because I know we were
504,
confused.
795.
Yep, the surf one, all beach maintenance, pavilions, repairs, parking lots, grounds, damaged buildings, decks, utilities, septic, and damage due to storm surges, right?
So I would,
So the beach
stand by
improvement
my-
one, the beach
Yep.
improvement line is maintenance to the properties, and that's
Yes,
it's just the maintenance.
So we're good. We're on the right one. Thank you, Rose, for seconding that.
Absolutely.
So I have a question.
Sure.
So do we, if we have, with a major storm, do we get grant money from FEMA or anything like that? to
We
fix
always
this?
apply for all that. I mean, last time it took us 10 years to get it back. I mean, we got money back. We're applying for the snowstorm we just had. We should be getting FEMA reimbursement. We may not see it till 10 years down the road. We will always apply, and this federal, if we have a major disaster, there's going to be federal money that's released, immediately. I mean, but again, the money in this is no harm, no foul. If you have to use it, you use it. If you don't have to use it, you don't use it, right? I mean,
Could I?
I'm not saying, I mean, I know your theory on the whole building the dune replenishment, you're not for because you think it's.
I'm okay with if we wanted to do some dune replenishment or some seagrass, what I would like to do is put a caveat in there that this is not for sand replenishment. Let's face it, Sam Mazzarino and Caswell Cook got thrown out of Providence on this.
It's
So
not in the
it-
account
it-
for
okay,
that.
So,
It's
so
not-
as long as we keep that completely out and we're specific about keeping that completely out, if you wanna throw something in there for what, seagrass replenishment, what exactly are you looking to do with this money?
No, I just
What's
read
a
it all.
give me an example of what you think.
Just
repair.
read the
Go ahead.
list. You
All
weren't
right.
listening.
So let's have, give me a specific repair. Let me hear a specific.
This is, give me, you got it again? So you gotta find it again.
Sure.
It was,
Go ahead.
it was for your septic system, your
Okay.
parking lot grading, your grounds, seagrass, dune seagrass replenishment, fencing.
Okay,
It-
And if we
nothing-
say
There's nothing in there that says replenishing sand,
okay,
nothing at all.
all right. Okay,
What was presented to the council?
all right, I didn't know, we had two different line items here and it seemed like it was crossing over a bit. If we leave that sand replenishment completely out of it and we're specific to keep it completely out of it, sure, I guess I'll be okay with it.
His proposal at the time was dredging.
Yeah, it was dredging and putting it on the beach, but this doesn't cover that. So you want to keep this in 25? I meant raise 25, seconded by Council Van Dover. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? 770.
Okay, and if you go down from there, just so I can continue, if you go down from there, the snow and ice, that's where you see the increase. This is an updated page if you're in the small book.
So the
You can
fir-
see that increase, the 50, if you go across, you can see with 13,000 in the hole, I mean, that's what, so again, it's building that back up to the 50 side, so. Yeah,
So the finance board moved that to that. Do you need a vote for that?
well, the 118 they went to for the 68, remember the 68, 825 included all the payroll taxes and all that? Yeah, you already did a vote on that.
No, I'm
right?
saying that's where they moved it to the restrict.
Right.
They took it out of snow
If
and
you
ice.
want to mention that
They moved
line
it
item
this
by
way.
account and approve that line item by account, or if you want to go through all these and just do it one, I don't know how you. Did you mention the restricted account? You just said to go to restricted. To the restricted side.
So we're good with this.
So if you go down, I'm just trying to see if there's some others. There's grant match awards, there's guardrail replacements. I mean, if there's any others you have. Mosquito program, I'm battling with the state on because I do not think it's our responsibility. I think it's theirs. They have done it in the past and the burdens kind of got dumped on us. So now I'm trying to come up with a plan to split it with the state. So there's money in that. So they were good in the way it's going. So.
So Sean, the GIS system, what are we paying for? Why are we keep putting money
You
throwing
know
it?
what that is?
GIS, I'm sorry.
Oh,
is-
yeah, that's our whole
Yeah, I know that's your okay,
properties, lines, water
the
system.
mapping
everything,
system.
The whole mapping system.
Okay. And so we have, you put 5,000, we have 58.
That's for upgrades in the system.
Okay.
In the computer, in the
Gotcha.
IT side, our annual contract for that's in the IT budget we went through.
Okay.
This is upgrades to the system.
Okay,
Ultimately, at the end of the day, we would prefer our roads, sidewalks, sewer, water, mapping, everything through the GIS system. We're not there yet.
got it.
No.
Thank you.
Same thing with the upgrade IT town-wide. We're trying to build up a balance in that because to go fiber optic to all the town buildings, because it allows computers and phones and everything to work within the buildings on their own system. We're currently not there, so that's what that's building up. Police retiree expense is what we pay out at the time of retiree. We try to build a balance to pay out some of the benefits. Any of those others that people have questions on or any? there was-
The comprehensive plan update, when is that due? Do you have?
I don't, we just did a couple of years.
The plan itself is good through 2040, but it has to be reviewed every 5 years.
So we
we're-
must be at
we're
2030.
coming up to a 5 now in the year 2030. So ultimately, what this funding goes to though, is that overall big overhaul in 2040. And
Because
then
we
it's well
bring a
over
consultant, in.
$100,000.
Yeah, we bring a consultant in
Right.
to, define, go through the plan.
It's not gonna be.
Clarification on the, comp plan review. Is it state require 5 years? I thought our charter said at least every 7, but, so the state is 5?
And we just did it last.
Okay, all right, okay.
Anything else unrestricted right now? Oh. And then we were gonna, what else? We doing one more, right? We doing restricted.
Town debt, you want?
You want to do the debt service, which we can probably go through pretty quick. So the debt service, I'm back on page 28, big book. Nothing changed in any of these on the finance side. So if you go to the town debt service, you can just give me an idea. So if you look at the year of the bond, like the first one's 2012, right? 20 years, that means, well, that's already fallen off. That's a refunding bond. But to give you an example, if you look at the just 2014 general obligation bond, A Lucy, those are all the lacrosse fields out in Bradford. That's that whole piece of property in the bike paths. 20-year bond, so 2034 that falls off. So these are the payments for the bond. I mean, you can look at the year and generally follow it out 20 years. If you're looking at any lease programs, usually they're a shorter period. 2014 road bond, again, that falls off 2034. I mean, 2034. And if you go through those all, these are just all our bonds. And then if you go down to the, if you look, just so you know, and I want to say I'm on page 29, just so you understand, 503-335 FY26 RIBB, Rhode Island Infrastructure Bank sewer bond. See, it says estimated, and you go across, and that's our payments, 818,004. Right? So that's the projection we got from the bond council of what it's costing us this year. So that's that bond. And then you have the 26 road bond, which is the one we dealt last year. And it's broken down. That's why you're looking at where FY27 is the road bond lease, because it was broken down to 3 $6 million bonds. All the ones that look on the California First leases, those are the actual capital vehicle replacement plan. Those are all either 3 or 5 year, they fall off. So if you watch them, you can see them dropping as you're watching the payments across as you go across. And basically that's it. Administrative fees, bank fees, minimal. And then you get to the education side. So keep in mind, we're responsible for all the education bonds. They do have some that fall under their side, but we pay, right? We pay them. It's all off of our side. So these are theirs. These are the ones, school refinancing. I mean, I think the one 2010. Oh, the original one for the high school has already fallen off. We've already paid it. So
So
that's
any
theirs?
bond that the schools go out for, the town pays for.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. So these are numbers, these are just numbers of the payments. It's not, there's no real fluctuation on any of these. This is what we get from the bond per the spreadsheet of the bond, so. So if you look, I mean, if you really go through it all, on the town side, you're at $6 million in town debt service. The education side is 6 million in education. So all in all, you're at 12. So you're really at about, I mean, if you do the math, you're probably at 12-14% of your overall budget is your debt service.
So we can end at capital improvement? Is that? where
Yeah,
want?
if you want to end now, because I know it's going to take a bit to go through those, because that's where the finance board made most of the cuts.
I'll make a motion to
On the
adjourn.
capital side, so.
Adjourn. A second.
Oh, discuss, I had one last,
Sorry.
yeah. You guys gotta calm down here. Come
I
on.
was just saying, was everyone okay with that? Because
Yeah,
it takes a
yes.
bit. You might want to stop.
I had one capital improvement, and I wanted to,
The
see if you
motion.
wanted to approach it tonight, but or you want to wait to, there was one thing that Alex mentioned earlier that I think we would
The
agree
motion to
on.
adjourn has already been made.
Motion made and
David.
seconded by Council Vandover.
No, I made the motion. Bill Aiello, seconded.
All in
I
favor?
made the motion.
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Aye.
Adjourn.
Adjourn.
Okay.